Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has imposed a 50% tariff on a wide range of goods imported from Canada in retaliation for what he called unequal treatment of US cars, dairy and alcohol. Prime Minister Mark Carney, though, responded by saying Canada stood ready to intensify trade talks with America in the coming weeks. All right, we begin the breakfast show with breaking news this morning. As you know, they came out in their thousands. People, irrespective of age, from across the country carrying anger that has been building over the NEET trial, the CBSE controversy, and questions over the very examinations that decide their futures. The CJP has given this anger a platform, but the people have given it the power. Over 50 protesters, 118 security men were injured. Yesterday, protesters were marching towards the gates of Parliament. The state responded with barricades, with brutality, tear gas. The government now is considering the demands that have been put forth. It has a choice, though. It can try to make this protest disappear through a few concessions that have been put forth, 3 demands to be specific. Or it can confront the much harder truth behind this mobilization, that this is about a generation that is losing faith in the systems that decide its future. Now we are told an FIR has been registered, and this FIR is registered against unknown miscreants that have been booked by the police. The Delhi police is actually probing the entire violence during this protest. As I mentioned briefly, over 50 protesters and 118 security men have been injured. Akhil joins us with the latest details regarding this FIR. Akhil, what details can you disclose that you've accessed this morning?
Well, Professor, if you see what we have got to know, that Delhi police has finally launched an FIR in connection with the case that cannot place police suspicion, because that was the most volatile region. That was the region where what we have seen that the most of the vandalism activity has taken place in the cannot place police region area. And if you see, Jantar comes under Parliamentary street police suspicion. That was the layered bomb security zone. Then what we have seen that a large number of security personnel were deployed from the Delhi police as well, from rapid action forces as well. So at that point in time, when the violence took an ugly turn, police what we have got to know that over 118 security personnel have got injured. More than 50 to 60 protesters have also got injured. So right now, the FIR has formally been launched at the multiple sections, at multiple police stations. So right now, the investigation in this case is currently on by the Delhi police team, and they're identifying that who the individuals were. Because the question initially, when this protest began early morning, then it looks like that it's a protest which is led by only students. But what we have seen that the stone pelting has also taken place. So it raises concerns for the Delhi police that those individuals have arrived. Those elements have arrived here, basically pelted the stones on the Delhi police stop.
Akhil, meanwhile, the Delhi High Court will today hear the matter relating to Mr. Sonam Wangchuk's transfer to a private hospital after expressing concern over his health, right?
Yeah, that's right. The Supreme Court is going to hear that matter because for the last 3 days, what we have been witnessing that Sonam Wangchuk is under observation of a doctor at Sansad Bhawan hospital, and his vitals are getting better and better day by day, because he was on a hunger strike for more than 21 days. And after that, what we have seen that after court's order, he was taken to Sansad Bhawan hospital because his potassium level has gone to below normal level. And after that, what we have seen that right now he's under observation of a panel of doctors who is currently doing well, but he has said that he's continuing to go with his fast, which he has started there. But so right now his hunger strike is still on. And apart from that, earlier what we have seen that the CJP chief Abhijit Dutt has already said that he is going to continue his fast, but later on he has decided to break it. And right now, if you saw, at this stage, the protest is still on by the CJP protesters. They are saying that again they are going to come at Mantar, and they are going to continue with their protest. But so far, talking to a senior officer in the Delhi police, and he has said that so far no official permission has been granted by the Delhi police team to again restart the protest at Jantar.
All right. Akhil, we'll of course continue to track the situation unfolding on Ground Zero with you. As always, thanks so much for joining us with the latest details coming in. Well, every protest reaches a point where the story stops being about the crowds and starts becoming about the response. That's where this movement finds itself this morning. The crowds may have thinned overnight, but the resolve has not. Even late into last night, I'm talking about Monday night, CJP protesters remained at Delhi's Jantar Mantar, as Akhil is highlighting, after a day that saw confrontation, injuries, detentions. Police personnel were also injured during the clashes. And this morning, let's turn our attention to what happens next now. Activist Sonam Wangchuk says his fast will continue until the CJP youth leaders or he himself are permitted to meet MPs. The court will hear the matter on his transfer to a private hospital, meanwhile, post-noon today at 12:30 p.m. to be specific. And the government has opened a line of communication. Health Minister J.P. Nadda met protest leaders yesterday who reiterated demands including Sonam Wangchuk's release, the resignation of the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, and assistance for families affected by the alleged NEET paper leak. First, before we get you all the finer details, listen in to what Sonam Wangchuk's wife has to say.
This is a movement that has caught the imagination of the entire nation. We have people here from the whole country, and there are more than 25 lakh youth across 5-kilometer radius. The police and the government are only resorting to lies to control the situation or misuse of power. They are just doing lathi charge or misusing their power or using lies.
Well, that is the question the government cannot answer with a symbolic gesture. You see, a resignation, a release, a compensation, they may address the immediate anger. Those are the demands that have been put forth by the CJP leaders. But then what about the years of failure that brought young people onto the streets? Not just young people, people irrespective of age. Let's go across to Jantar Mantar this morning to assess the mood there. Ishika joins us live currently. Ishika, take us through the mood this morning, and after yesterday's confrontation and the night spent at Jantar Mantar, has the resolve of the protesters there only hardened?
Well, it certainly appears so, Parmeshwar, because we are currently reporting from Jantar Mantar, and after yesterday's Sansad Chalo March, let me show you that it is currently raining here at Jantar Mantar, but you will see that the number of protesters, in fact, have only increased here. You'll see, and it is expected to increase even more today. Remember that Sonam Wangchuk, in his letter from Safdarjung, had made it very clear that his hunger strike will continue, and he wants that the parliamentarians are allowed, in fact, to meet him either at Safdarjung or, in fact, these leaders of the Cockroach Janata Party are allowed to meet the parliamentarians at the Sansad Bhawan. That is the condition he has put forth to end his hunger strike. Meanwhile, the Cockroach Janata Party continues to say that their protest will continue until and unless the three demands that were put forth by them in front of the Health Minister J.P. Nadda is met. Those three demands were that, in fact, Dharmendra Pradhan should resign. The other certainly was that 1 crore compensation be given to the NEET students' family who died by suicide, and also, in fact, that Sonam Wangchuk be released from the Safdarjung hospital. So these were the three demands, and they continue to say until these demands are met, this protest is not going to end. Let me show you the visuals here. First, you'll see the visuals of, in fact, the protesters who continue to gather at Jantar Mantar. On the other hand, you'll see that the security here continues to be tightened here. So you'll see both these visuals here, and we have seen the kind of standoff that was there yesterday on Delhi roads between these protesters and the security forces. And the protest here, the sloganeering here also, we are trying to make our viewers listen. That continues here at Jantar Mantar. Over to you.
Ishika, we'll of course continue to track the ground sentiment with you. As I informed our viewers earlier as well, yesterday there was a meeting with J.P. Nadda, the Health Minister. That was the first formal political outreach as far as this movement is concerned. We'll continue to track the government's stand as well and what they're saying behind the scenes this morning. First, let's take a look at the finer details too. There are dramatic visuals that have been coming in since yesterday. Our managing editor, Shiv Arur, has also spoken to the NCP-SP spokesperson, Anish Gawande, regarding the entire mobilization, the scale in which people have turned up across the national capital and across our country. Here's what Mr. Gawande told NDTV.
To start off with, I think Jay's assumption that this is a regime change operation funded by interests inimical to India is laughable at best. This morning, I was at Jantar Mantar at 7 o'clock with Abhijit, and we were singing Ma Tujhe Salam with a constitution in one hand and the Indian flag in the other. What could be a more Indian protest than this, right? And I must remind you that it was an entire month before the government deemed it important enough to engage with this protest. It was 3 days after they unceremoniously and illegally kidnapped Sonam Wangchuk from Jantar Mantar and took him to Safdarjung. It was also a major challenge in terms of getting the government to listen and announcing a Sansad Chalo march, which is the only thing that persuaded the government to come to the negotiating table. But I want to point out something that's very worrying. The protest was carried out peacefully for an entire month. But today, last night, I came back from Mumbai after an incredible protest at Azad Maidan, which saw thousands of people organized by the Shiv Sena UBT, and witnessed the complete removal of barricades and metal detectors and the purposeful allowing of antisocial elements, which is why I'm very curious to see where this conspiracy theory leads. We saw the removal of CCTV cameras from the premises, and we saw a lackadaisical attitude by the police towards such antisocial elements. So was this protest being hijacked? Was it being infiltrated? Was this being done to make protesters look bad? Are serious questions to answer.
Yeah.
I don't want to raise such allegations upon the Delhi police unnecessarily or without any evidence.
And on that note, let's also visit the protesters' demands from the government at the moment. They are demanding for the Education Minister, Dharmendra Pradhan, to resign or be sacked. They also want the release of Sonam Wangchuk and cash aid for families of students who died by suicide. Today, as I mentioned, there are talks. But the question is whether those talks produce a genuine overhaul or simply offer the government a way out. Because the resignation of just one minister cannot become a substitute for accountability. That's what many in this movement are highlighting. Compensation cannot become a substitute for reform, and a meeting cannot become a substitute for answers. As you've seen, the crowds have done what citizens in a democracy are supposed to do. They have shown up, they're demanding accountability. Now the government has to decide whether it's prepared to provide it. And many rightfully actually are saying, there's a danger in treating a deep crisis of trust as a problem that can be solved with a few concessions. Because the young people are on the streets, they are asking more than just a gesture. They are asking who is responsible, who answers for the failures, who fixes the system, and what changes for the next student. And of course, there's also the fact of force. The story cannot remain at the level of a protest was held that the talks have begun. The question is also about force, whether the force was used was proportionate, who authorized it, what happened on the ground really, and whether the state's response has now deepened the very anger it was trying to contain. For more on that, let's revert to Jantar Mantar. Ishika Verma is tracking the latest details there. Ishika, as we've mentioned, there was the first political outreach with JP Nadda and two leaders of the Cockroach Janata Party. But what is the government's stand this morning?
Well, Parmeshwar, if we talk about the government stand so far over this Cockroach Janata Party protest, well, JP Nadda had yesterday met the protesters. He did not give any assurance as far as the Cockroach Janata Party's version is concerned. But centre certainly has appealed them to end their sit-in dharna. That is, in fact, what we are getting to know from the government sources, that centre has appealed the Cockroach Janata Party to end their sit-in dharna that you continue. We continue to show you that continues at Jantar Mantar. More so, the government sources have also told us that after JP Nadda meeting the Cockroach Janata Party, there is in fact a series of internal meetings of the government is also going to take place before the government decides whether or not to accept the three demands of the Cockroach Janata Party. Remember, remember that the three demands were: number one, that Sonam Wangchuk be released from the Safdarjung hospital; second being that the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan resigns; and third being that 1 crore of compensation be given to the families of those where students have died by suicide. So certainly government has said that no assurance yet, but we appeal you to end your dharna, while the Cockroach Jantar Party on the other hand has said that till and until it is in fact accepted, all the three demands are accepted, they will be continuing their protest. We continue to show you the visuals here, Parmeshwar, from Jantar Mantar. You'll continue to see that how in fact the number of protesters continue to increase here after their Sansad Chalo march, and you'll see that this visual we are getting you after yesterday's Sansad Chalo march. We have in fact shown how in fact the CJP had alleged that there was high-handedness by the cops here. There was lathi charge that was done, but on the other hand the Delhi police claims that the lathi charge was mild. It was done after the action. So certainly we are seeing that after yesterday, here also the Jantar Mantar, the action at Jantar Mantar continues. Over to you.
Ishika, as always, thanks so much for getting us live visuals from Jantar Mantar this morning. We'll, of course, continue to track the latest updates with you. Well, meanwhile, security forces in Delhi cracked down on one of the biggest anti-government protests in recent years. Meanwhile, questions are mounting over the violence as the Delhi police claims that no individuals were subjected to targeted assault. We've seen the images all over our social media as well. The Delhi police insist that no individuals were subjected to targeted assault, and they say there was mild lathi charge, whatever that means. Several videos, though, have emerged that show policemen, including DCP North, being injured. Meanwhile, protesters were also seen. There were vehicles that were vandalized there. Delhi police say that 70 people have been detained so far, and many of them are not students. There were also armed personnel there with sophisticated weapons aimed at students. And that, of course, has become the chatter online as well. That's the image that the government has to answer for. This, as investigators are probing many more aspects linked to this entire mobilization. Akhil Jamil joins us with the latest that investigators are probing currently. Akhil, you mentioned, right, before we go to Akhil, I sincerely apologize. Here are the crucial reactions you cannot ignore.
There was an unlawful assembly जिसको डील किया गया. कुछ स्टोन पेल्टिंग के इंसिडेंट्स हुए हैं. कुछ प्रोटेस्टर्स को दिल्ली पुलिस ने डिटेन भी किया. अप्रोप्रिएट एक्शन लिया जा रहा है. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
काफ़ी मात्रा में वहाँ पर स्टूडेंट्स और स्टूडेंट जो प्रोटेस्ट था उसके बीच में काफ़ी सारे जो है राउडी टाइप लोग और किसी पर्टिकुलर पार्टी के लोग वहाँ पर मौजूद थे. या पर्टिकुलर जो है आप पहले की एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स हो सकते हैं जो हम पे पत्थर, जूते, क्या बोलते हैं, स्टोन्स, ऐसे वाले ब्रिक्स वो उन्होंने डाला, कांच की बोतल्स. ठीक है,
क्लैरिफाई कर देते हैं आप यहाँ पर स्टोन्स कहाँ से आ गए, पत्थर कहाँ से आ गए इस स्पॉट पे?
ये तो हम भी हैरान थे. हम उसके लिए तैयार नहीं थे. हम स्टोन्स के लिए भी नॉट रेडी.
चोट लगी है आपको, ये स्टोन्स की वजह से
लगी स्टोन्स की वजह से. लेकिन जब स्टैम्पेड हुआ, जब हम भीड़ को पीछे कर रहे थे तो वहाँ पर लड़कियाँ उन्होंने आगे दी थी कुछ टाइम के लिए. तो वो लड़कियाँ थी और वो भाग नहीं पाई. वो मतलब भीड़ में इससे पहले कि लड़के उनको कुचल दें, वो अपनी जान बचा के पीछे भाग रहे थे लड़के. और स्टैम्पेड में वो लड़कियाँ भी वहीं पर थी और उन लड़कियों को बचाने के एवज में मैं जो है घायल में नीचे भी झुकी थी और मेरा हाथ यहाँ पर ट्विस्ट हुआ है.
Akhil Jamil is live with us at the moment. Akhil, the visuals we saw yesterday were dramatic to say the least. Protesters were severely injured, bleeding. Police personnel were also injured. Tell us, what are both sides saying this morning about how that confrontation unfolded, and any indication of an inquiry or accountability over the use of force?
Well, Parmeshwar, if you just go by the visuals, what we have seen, that the protesters displayed unruly behavior. The protesters displayed aggressive behavior. The protesters displayed violent behavior. Why so? Because what we have been witnessing on ground, that there were repeated warnings which were given by the law enforcement agencies. And despite that, if you see, these protesters continued with their protest. And if you see, there were several announcements which were made by the Delhi police personnel, the rapid action force personnel. But at that point in time, they were not ready to listen. And if you see, last evening, I have interviewed several police officers, including Sonia Sehrawat. And Sonia Sehrawat, in another protest, had broken her left arm. And this time, she had broken her right arm. So what she was saying that at that point in time, she wasn't ready and she wasn't expecting that a stone pelting incident would happen even in the heart of Delhi. So from where those stones came forward, so the security personnel have been clueless at that point in time from where those stones have come forward. So right now, if you see, the investigation is currently underway. What we have seen that several FIRs have been filed by the Delhi police team across different police stations, including Connaught Place police station. So those individuals who have basically breached the police barricading despite several warnings, they have vandalized police vans as well. So who those individuals are, right now the police team is monitoring all those CCTV cameras installed in the Zone 1 area, because last evening, while I was speaking to the DCP of the New Delhi district, he has confirmed this to us that he has marked 15 different zones. And out of those 15 zones, Jantar Mantar, the spot, was the Zone 1, in which what we have seen that it basically went out of control, in which what we have seen, like many security personnel, if you see not only the rank of SHOs, if you just go ahead, what we have seen that the ACPs, additional ACPs, DCPs, joint CP, additional CP, special CP even, all those senior officials, what we have got to know that 6 senior IPS officers have got badly injured. Overall, if you see, more than 110 security personnel have been injured in this very incident.
Akhil, we'll continue to track how this probe progresses with you as always. Thanks so much. Well, clashes between protesters and the police, the use of tear gas that's left more than 100 police personnel and several protesters injured. The opposition, though, has seized on those visuals to question the government's handling of this protest. Rahul Gandhi has accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of being anti-youth. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra questioned the use of force against students. While Akhilesh Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal and Mamata Banerjee have also criticized the centre. And after yesterday's meeting with Union Minister JP Nadda, protesters say they are waiting for the government's response to their 3 key demands. So the next move now rests with the government, whether it answers the demands, offers a roadmap, or risks allowing this confrontation to actually deepen. We've got crucial reactions from opposition leaders lined up for you. Listen in.
This country has a majority of young people. Prime Minister Modi is the most anti-youth Prime Minister India has ever had. The boys and girls who are walking the streets of Delhi are not criminals. They are demanding their rights. Their rights are to have an education system that respects them, to have an education system that is fair, to have an education system that is working. There's absolutely nothing wrong in what they're doing, and it's disgusting what the government is doing and what the police is doing.
प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, बड़े-बड़े इश्यूज हैं, आप डिस्कस करने के लिए राजी नहीं है और बच्चों पे आप टीयर गैस कर रहे हो और उनकी पिटाई कर रहे हो, किस लिए? बच्चे हमारे।
थैंक यू मैम।
जो देखा और जो व्यवहार सरकार का और पुलिस का था, लाठी चलाना, आंसू गैस के गोले चलवाना, प्राइवेट ड्रेस में पुलिस आकर के छात्रों को, युवाओं के साथ जो व्यवहार किया है, सुनने में आ रहा है कि कुछ इलेक्ट्रिक टॉर्च भी थी या डंडी, जो भी बोलेंगे उसको। लोगों को चोट लगी है, युवाओं के बड़े पैमाने पे चोट लगी है, बड़े पैमाने पे घायल हुए हैं। सरकार को ये उम्मीद नहीं थी कि छात्र नौजवान इतनी बड़ी संख्या में आ जाएंगे। ये सबसे बड़ा फेलियर है और किसी फेलियर के लिए ही आए हैं लोग। आप नीट की परीक्षा नहीं करा पा रहे हैं और जो परीक्षा कराई, जिस तरह से धांधली हुई है, सब बीजेपी के लोग शामिल हैं उसमें।
ये हमारे देश के युवा इस समय बहुत दुखी हैं और बहुत गुस्से में हैं। जिस तरह से हमारे देश का एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम है, पहले पेपर लीक हो गए, यूपीएससी के पूरे इवैल्यूएशन सिस्टम में बहुत बड़ा स्कैम हो गया, बच्चों के नंबर सारे गलत आ गए। फिर रीनीट का पेपर हुआ, नीट का पेपर दोबारा हुआ, उसका पूरा इवैल्यूएशन सिस्टम गड़बड़ हो गया। बच्चे शिकायत पे शिकायत पे शिकायत करते रहे, लेकिन कोई उनकी सुनवाई नहीं हुई। अब बच्चे और उनके पेरेंट्स कहाँ जाएं, किसके पास जाएं, किसके पास जाके गुहार करें? सरकार सुनती नहीं है। तो जब बच्चों ने सड़क पे उतर के आंदोलन किया, बच्चे क्या मांग रहे हैं? ये तो मांग रहे हैं एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम ठीक करो, शिक्षा की पद्धति ठीक करो, और तो कुछ नहीं मांग रहे बच्चे, कुछ गलत तो मांग नहीं रहे।
हमने कभी ऐसा नहीं देखा, इतनी असंवेदनाशील सरकार कभी देखी नहीं, इतने तानाशाही जैसा बर्ताव कभी देखा नहीं है। और घमंड, कॉकरोच है, मार डालो, ये अप्रोच है इनका।
Sonam Wangchuk has communicated his decision to Sri Abhijit Dubke that he don't stop his hunger strike. He is continuing his hunger strike. So, in that context, they have decided that they will continue the agitation in they won't vacate Jantar Mantar till Dharmendra Pradhan resigns.
Protest is the most democratic form of expressing the people's opinion, and they have been valid questions. Unfortunately, the government does not want to address or answer the questions, and they resort to violence against the people who are raising these questions, and this is totally unacceptable.
Well, the images of tear gas, lathi charge, stone pelting, injured protesters, injured police personnel, that's moved the debate beyond law and order this morning. They have raised difficult questions about the state and how it responds when large number of citizens, irrespective of age, take to the streets. And the opposition has mounted a coordinated attack on the centre. Rahul Gandhi has called Prime Minister Narendra Modi the most anti-youth Prime Minister in India's history, linking the protest to what he says is a wider failure to ensure accountability after repeated examination controversies and paper leak allegations. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, meanwhile, has questioned the use of force against students, saying they are our children, they are our future. Akhilesh Yadav argues that yesterday's events have strengthened solidarity among protesters rather than weakened the movement. Arvind Kejriwal has also weighed in, accusing the government of arrogance, while Mamata Banerjee, the former West Bengal Chief Minister, says dissent is not a crime and brutality cannot become governance. Political reactions, as you can tell, are expected after this confrontation of this scale. But beyond the politics as well, there are questions that will outlast today's headlines and yesterday's headlines. Was the force used proportionate? Could the confrontation have been handled differently? Will there be accountability if excesses are established? And also, after a day of violence, a month of being mum, does the government now have an opportunity to shift the conversation from confrontation to resolution? For more on that, let's go across to Aishwarya Jain, who joins us. Aishwarya, tell us, what is the opposition planning ahead of the session today in Parliament? What is their strategy? We're given to understand that there are two simultaneous huddles.
Well, the opposition has made very clear that they will be supporting the entire protest that erupted yesterday and led by the Jantar Party. And in the Parliament as well, the opposition will be raising the voice and will be demanding the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan. And until and unless that doesn't happen, they will continue to disrupt the parliament, seek answers and accountability from the government. As yesterday we saw different political leaders from the opposition bloc raising the concerns on how the force was used against the students. There was pushback from the security personnel. Altogether, the government sources have indicated to us that the government is open to talk with these students. And yesterday, the channel from the government side got opened. It was JP Nadda who spoke to the delegation of the Cockroach Jantar Party. The top minister stated to the CJP delegation that they will get back after having an internal discussion. Altogether, the government has been saying that they have done each and every step possible to revamp the entire education system in the country. But perhaps these demands that the CJP is putting out is not valid, and the way that they are moving forward is not right. And therefore, the reason perhaps to ensure security in the national capital, the government had ordered the personnel to use force against them. Okay. But yes, what we're expecting today in the parliament is that the government might issue a statement in the upper house of the parliament, and a detailed brief can be given to the parliamentarians as to what government is thinking on the entire protest.
Aishwarya, we'll of course continue to track all the latest details in the run-up to when Parliament kickstarts and further as well. Thanks so much as always. Well, yesterday Parliament barely got down to business, and after a stormy opening day, all eyes are on day 2 of this battle in Parliament. The first day was marked by repeated disruptions, slogans, placards and uproar, with both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha witnessing multiple adjournments. The opposition raised the NEET issue, the Ram Temple donation row, leading to a sharp face-off with the government as expected. Now the question is whether day 2 will see more disruptions or a return to debate. Opposition floor leaders are set to meet this morning, while the NDA will hold its weekly strategy huddle called Mangal Milan. The government, meanwhile, is likely to move a bill to criminalize insult to Vande Mataram, adding another flashpoint to an already charged session, considering what's happening in the national capital and all the dramatic visuals that have been coming in since the past 22 days, which only intensified yesterday. The government is likely to move a bill to criminalize insult to Vande Mataram, adding another flashpoint to an already charged session.
वंदे मातरम तो आज़ादी की पहले से गाया जाता था, और जब वंदे मातरम की गाते थे तो अंग्रेज जेल में ठूस देते थे, तब ये उनके मुखबिरी कर रहे थे, बताते थे कौन वंदे मातरम गा रहा है और सजा दिलवाते थे, है ना। आज बड़े भक्त बन गए हैं।
All right, so as far as day 2 is concerned, there's supposed to be a packed agenda, but opposition floor leaders are expected to meet at Mallikarjun Kharge's chamber at 10 a.m. before the session. The opposition is likely to raise the issue of NEET and the Ram Temple donation theft again. The NDA, meanwhile, as I mentioned, is holding a simultaneous weekly strategy meeting called the Mangal Milan. Our sources have informed us that the NCPI will not attend the NDA's Mangal Milan meeting. And additionally, Amit Shah is expected to move a bill to criminalize insulting Vande Mataram. Aishwarya, considering all that's happened in the national capital yesterday, the mobilization we've seen, the scale of the crowds, and not just in the national capital, we've seen this movement elsewhere across the country. Take us through day 2, the agenda in Parliament, and the response to Amit Shah actually moving a bill to criminalize insulting Vande Mataram while all this is going on.
Well, yesterday, because the opposition bloc clearly stated that they will be raising the issue of Ram Temple donation theft scam, and also the NEET, alleged NEET paper scam, the protests which happened. We saw Lok Sabha being adjourned for 7 times, Rajya Sabha being adjourned for 6 times, and at the end of the day, it was no work that was done on day 1. But today it is government which has listed 2 bills for the Supreme Court, the number of judges, Amendment Bill 2026 that will be tabled in the Lok Sabha by Union Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal, and in the Rajya Sabha the Prevention to Insults of National Honours Amendment Bill that will be presented by Home Minister Amit Shah in the Rajya Sabha. Perhaps there are 2 simultaneous meetings, the NDA Parliamentary Party meeting that will be now called Mangal Milan at 9 a.m. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be honoured by the MPs for being the longest serving elected Prime Minister of the country. And the newly elected, the newly joined Rajya Sabha MPs, that includes ex-Aam Aadmi Party MPs, including Raghav Chaddha and all, they will be welcomed as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be delivering a key address to the NDA members, looking ahead for the monsoon session of Parliament. On the other side, the opposition will meet at 10 a.m. at Mallikarjun Kharge's chambers, and they will be strategizing on their own. What we have been told is that the opposition has made it very clear that they will continue to demand the resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan and seek an answer, accountability from the government inside the House. And this, today as well, we are expecting the fireworks to happen inside the Parliament, confrontations after confrontations between the government and the opposition.
We'll, of course, track all the finer details with you as always. Thanks so much for joining us. All right, let's turn our attention to breaking news we're tracking at the moment. The Bihar government's decision to paint all 551 model schools in the state saffron is facing questions not just from the opposition but also from the BJP's primary ruling alliance partner, the JDU. The model schools, renamed Saraswati Vidya Niketan, which are basically classes 9 to 12, were formally launched by Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary on Sunday at an event in Begusarai. You must note now the Chief Minister posted on X saying, "We have heralded a new age in education by inaugurating 551 Saraswati Vidya Niketan from Begusarai, the land of poet Ramdhari Singh Dinkar." But the decision to paint all these schools saffron replacing the existing pink, sky blue or yellow that has drawn criticism from the opposing aisle as well. School authorities, we're told, were asked to paint the building saffron at the earliest. Here are the reactions you need to listen to before we go across to Raman Rai for all the clarity we need.
अभी कल ही पता चला है कि पहले की पूर्ववर्ती सरकारों द्वारा बनाए गए 150 ऐसे स्कूल हैं, उस पर सिर्फ भगवा कलर कर दिया, उसको शिशु सरस्वती विद्या निकेतन क्या नाम दे दिया। ऐसे थोड़े होता है। अब किसी की बनाई हुई चीज पे आप भगवा कलर कर देंगे, आप क्या होगे? आप फिर मैं कहूंगा कि जो बिहार के शिक्षा मंत्री और बिहार की सरकार है, उनको नीति आयोग की रिपोर्ट पढ़नी चाहिए। एसडीजी इंडेक्स में ग्रोस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो में बिहार का सबसे कम है और स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट रेट भी बिहार का सबसे अधिक है। टीचर पुपिल रेशियो जो है, छात्र शिक्षक का अनुपात है, वो बिहार का सबसे खराब है। जो गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा है वो बिहार की सबसे खराब है। उस पर ध्यान देने के बजाय आप बिल्डिंग्स का रंग बदल रहे हैं, उससे थोड़ी ना जो यथास्थिति है वो बदल जाएगी।
शिक्षा का कोई कलर नहीं होता और नीतीश कुमार जी ने ये मॉडल स्कूल, आदर्श विद्यालय हर एक जगह हो, ये शुरुआत की थी और मुझे नहीं लगता है कि शिक्षा सबके लिए है और उसका कोई कलर देना चाहिए। मुझे नहीं लगता कि ये करें।
देखिए, ये ज्यादा जरूरी है कि व्हाइट हो, ग्रीन हो, ऑरेंज हो, ब्लैक हो, कि ये जरूरी है कि वहां गुणवत्तापूर्ण परीक्षा हो। जो लोग ये सवाल उठा रहे हैं कि ऑरेंज क्यों हो गया, व्हाइट क्यों हो गया, ग्रीन क्यों हो गया, उनको ये सवाल उठाना चाहिए ना कि क्या सरकार ने 20 वर्षों में गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा बहाल इस प्रदेश में की कि नहीं।
My colleague Raman Rai is tracking the finer details for us. He joins us live from Patna this morning. Raman, earlier we are given to understand there were no specific directives on school colors. They used to be yellow, they used to be pink, even sky blue from time to time. Now the new Education Department letter specifies that there must be uniformity and the exterior walls must be saffron. Tell us, what is the logic, why, and how does the government think this helps?
No, see, this is the decision which made by the new government, which is leading by the Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary, and around 551 modern schools in Bihar is now going to paint in saffron, and that is why the partner in the government, JDU, is also questioning the decision of the government that there should be no saffron color is used for painting the school, because in the earlier NDA government of the 20 years of Nitish Kumar's rule, we see the colors of the modern schools, the government schools that are being white, pink and blue. But this is the color which is the color of the BJP's flag as well. That is why the opposition parties, the AIMIM chief is also opposing that and saying that BJP is trying to saffronize the education in Bihar and trying to force the symbolic color of its party. And that is why also the party, the partner in alliance of with the BJP, JDU is also opposing this order of painting 551 modern schools in Bihar with the saffron color. That is why the JDU MP, the acting president Sanjay Jha, also said that education should have no color, and the MLC of JDU Neeraj Kumar also speaks to NDTV on the decision of the government of painting 551 modern schools in saffron color. He is saying that in the earlier regime of Nitish Kumar, the education never gets a kind of the color which was used right now. So this is the kind of this is kind of a ruckus inside the government between the two of the parties in the power, BJP and JDU.
We'll of course continue to track how this progresses and the political reactions that continue to come in. As always, Raman, thanks so much. All right, let's turn our attention to the latest we're tracking at the moment. A large contingent of farmers from Punjab left for Delhi on Sunday to participate in a Mahapanchayat today against the proposed India-US trade agreement. The gathering, to be held at Delhi's Kisan Ghat, has been called by the Desh Bachao Morcha, with organizers claiming that around 550 farmers' unions and social organizations from across the country are going to take part. In fact, the Kisan Mazdoor Sangharsh Committee Punjab leader, he had alleged that the proposed trade pact would adversely affect Indian farmers. It would affect laborers as well, small traders and the broader public. He's claimed that the agreement was aimed at benefiting American companies and farmers while ignoring the interests of India's small and marginal cultivators. Listen in to the crucial reactions we've lined up for you, followed by Mohammad Ghazali's report.
ਉਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਠਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ 4 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਘਾਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ 'ਚ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ। ਪਰ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੰਭੂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸਾ ਬੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਹੁਣ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਖੁਦ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਕਲੀਫ ਦੇ ਰਹੀ ਆ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਚੈਨਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਬੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਜਦੋਂ 4 ਘੰਟੇ ਲਈ ਜਾਣਾ, ਹਰਿਆਣੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੜਕ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰ, ਹਰਿਆਣੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਡਾ ਧਰਨਾ नहीं है, टप के दिल्ली च, फिर हरियाणा सरकार क्यों रोक दिया?
अहम बात है कि ना तो हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट ने नोटिफिकेशन किया है कि हम रोड डाइवर्ट कर रहे हैं या रोड बंद कर रहे हैं, और ना ही पंजाब सरकार से कोई की तरफ से सूचना थी। और जो बैरिगेशन हुई है फिर से, मतलब कि ये 13 फरवरी 2024 को यही बैरिगेशन थी। यही बैरिगेशन आप पंजाब की सरहद के अंदर है, बिल्कुल पंजाब के एरिए के अंदर। हरियाणा तो यहाँ से लगभग 500-400 मीटर आगे जाके शुरू होता है। तो ये जो क्लैब है, ये रिश्ता क्या कहलाता है? मतलब कि
आप कह रहे हैं कि पंजाब सरकार ने अलाउ किया है?
बिल्कुल पंजाब सरकार ने अलाउ किया, तभी तो हुआ कि मेरी सरजमी पर आप कैसे लगा सकते हैं? ये गग्गर टोटल है, ये पंजाब के अंदर है, और ये बिल्कुल बीच में पुल पे बैरिगेशन हुई है। तो लेकिन लोगों की सुविधा के लिए हमने घोषणा कर दी थी कि हम 21 तारीख को एक दिन के लिए किसान घाट पर जाएंगे। तो हमारी तरफ से कोई मतलब कि
एक ही दिन है ना, ये लंबा बैठने वाला तो नहीं है।
एक ही दिन का था, एक रैली थी, एक महापंचायत थी। अपनी बात रखने के लिए यूएस डील हो रही है, जो अमेरिका भारत व्यापार समझौता था, उसको रद्द करवाने के लिए सिर्फ एक दिन का प्रोग्राम, और बहुत पीसफुल। कोई ट्रैक्टर नहीं था, कोई ट्राली नहीं थी, कोई हमारे पास लंगर की व्यवस्था भी नहीं थी। हम बसों से जा रहे थे, आज जाना था, शाम को वापस आ जाना था। तो इतना सरकार डर गई है ना कि अपनी बात भी नहीं रखने दिया जा सकते।
It's lovely morning here, out here in Punjab. I'm right now reporting from near the Shambhu border, which borders Patiala and Ambala district of Haryana. Patiala of Punjab and Ambala district of Haryana. But what you see behind me doesn't suggest that the situation is going as calm as it looks now. The farmers from across the Punjab are now coming towards the Shambhu border. They want to go to Delhi. Actually, they are protesting against the India-US trade deal. The farmer leaders have argued that the proposed agreement between the India-US trade deal extends far beyond the import and export of a handful of commodities. They contend that negotiations could encompass agriculture, dairy, industry, digital trade, services, investment, energy, intellectual property rights, and broader market access, making it a far-reaching economic agreement with potentially significant implications for multiple sectors. And that is why farmers from across the Punjab are marching, have left their villages from different districts of Punjab. They want to go to Delhi to protest, and right now you can see the security arrangement out here near the Shambhu border. You might have seen it as well in the past when farmers want to march towards Delhi. This is the route which they follow, which they take while traveling from Punjab towards Delhi.
All right, let's turn our attention now to Sikkim, where we have breaking news coming in at the moment. 8 workers were killed and at least 18 remain trapped inside an under-construction tunnel in Sikkim after a methane gas explosion triggered a landslide, blocking the tunnel entrance and cutting off the escape route. A total of 25 workers, including National Hydroelectric Power Corporation personnel, were trapped inside the tunnel. Of them, 8 have been confirmed dead by the district administration, while rescue operations are currently underway to evacuate the remaining 18 workers. We're told a suspected buildup of methane gas at about 1.5 kilometers inside the tunnel is believed to have exploded during a venting attempt, triggering a landslide that sealed the entrance. We have visuals coming in from Namchi in Sikkim. Rathadeep is tracking the latest details for us. He joins us live at the moment. Rathadeep, take us through the latest from the rescue site. What progress, if any, has been made in reaching the workers who still remain trapped? Unfortunately, 8 workers have died.
That's what we are given to understand from sources that we are speaking to since yesterday. Now, remember, this has happened yesterday, and rescue operations led by NDRF, the State Disaster Response Force, and the State Police has been on for hours together. And in fact, last evening, the first dead body was recovered from the tunnel, and this morning, 7 more bodies overnight have been recovered. Now, what we can confirm is that there are 8 dead bodies which have been recovered. 12 people have been rescued alive, though that's a good news. But however, authorities tell us that at least 18 people or more than 18 people are still trapped inside. Now, this tunnel has collapsed after a landslide. Remember, this was an under construction tunnel of the Teesta Stage 4 hydroelectric project of the NHPC in Sikkim's Namchi district, which is in southern part of Sikkim, bordering Bengal. Now, in fact, more rescuers have been sent to the area. The state government is coordinating with NHPC in terms of the search and rescue operations. But there is this information that perhaps there is a suspected methane gas leak that has taken place there inside the tunnel, and if that had happened, then obviously there are concerns about the well-being of the people who are at this moment said to be trapped inside that tunnel. Now the government says that the exact number of people who are trapped inside is still not very clear, but there would be around 18 or more than that.
All right, the government there saying that they still don't have a clear number of the people trapped inside. It could be 18 or perhaps more. Rathadeep, we'll continue to track the latest as far as this tunnel collapse is concerned with you. As always, thanks so much for joining us with the latest details. Right, further breaking news coming in. 7 members of a family, including 2 children, were buried alive after a landslide triggered by heavy rainfall brought down their mud house in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. The incident, we're told, took place in the upper reaches of Loran in Poonch, where the victims were trapped under debris after their house collapsed. Villagers later recovered the bodies of all the 7 deceased. That's the latest we're tracking as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. A landslide has hit Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch, and 7 members of a family, including 2 children, were buried alive after a landslide triggered by heavy rainfall brought down their mud house in Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district. Pradeep Datta tracking the latest for us. Pradeep, tragic details coming in this morning. Take us through the latest and also the forecast for the region.
Yes, right now, while I'm talking to you, the heavy rainfall is continuing, and similar is the situation in the Poonch and the Rajouri district. Yes, very unfortunate and tragic incident that took place in Loran area in Poonch, because of which the 7 members of the family got buried under the landslide. It was late yesterday evening when the landslide hit the mud house, and mud house got buried under the landslide. Locals, when they saw this thing, they immediately informed the police. Police rushed to the spot, and rescue operation was conducted, but they were not able to save lives. All the 7 bodies were extricated from that debris. And right now also the rainfall is continuing, and situation continues to remain grim, because during the last 3-4 days we have seen that this torrential rain has wreaked havoc in this border district of Poonch and Rajouri. 20 people have almost lost their lives. Some are said to be missing. Reason is that either it's because of the landslide or it's because of the flash flood that people are facing many problems. And day before yesterday, I was reporting from the Rajouri area where we saw that many of the houses collapsed like pack of cards, and some of the shops were also damaged, and about more than 100 vehicles were swept away by the gushing stream of water. So situation right now also continues to remain grim. That's one of the reasons the advisory has been issued. People had been asked to stay away from the stream, not to move towards banks of the river, and also stay indoors unnecessarily. Don't freak out and move, especially in the hilly terrain and hill area, because there are chances of landslides, and so that's one of the reasons there's an alert has been sounded in these hilly areas of Poonch and Rajouri right now.
Pradeep, thanks for taking us through the details and for the advisories that have been put in place. We'll, of course, keep in touch with you for the latest emerging out of Jammu and Kashmir. Let's switch tracks now. The Tamil Nadu-Karnataka standoff over the Mekadatu Dam project has once again resumed. While Chief Minister Vijay yesterday held a key meeting with senior ministers, the DMK too was seen raising the issue in Parliament. Tamil Nadu Minister CTR Nirmal Kumar said Chief Minister Vijay's meeting was held in order to chalk out the next steps over the resolution of the Kaveri issues, which he assured will be done in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Meanwhile, in the House, the DMK MPs staged a protest by wearing green towels in solidarity with farmers. DMK MP Thiruchi Siva said that his party will raise the issue in both houses, seeking reconstitution of the tribunal on the Kaveri water and Mekadatu Dam issue.
CM called for a meeting with all the experts and the legal experts who has been involved in this for last 15 years, and definitely CM has done the review with all this, and within 1 or 2 weeks CM will come out with the solution on the next approach on this Meghdad and Kaveri issue.
Maharashtra, when Maharashtra could waive 36,000 crores of loans for farmers, nearly 55 lakh farmers, their loans have been waived. Why can't Tamil Nadu do it? He has announced 2,000 crores of waiver of loans, another 15,000 crores. It is his promise to the people. So he has to upkeep his promise, and he should do it immediately, because this is a super El Nino year. Already, Karnataka has not released water in the Kaveri. And June 12th, the Medu Dam was supposed to open, and today there's not even water for drinking in Medu Dam today, leave alone agricultural. So this is going to be a very distressed year.
Issue of construction of Meghadadi Dam in Karnataka against the orders of the Supreme Court and settled the case in the tribunal of Kaveri dispute. In spite of many requests, many demands, and resolution in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, the government of Tamil Nadu is very much adamant, and they are very cruel towards the farmers of Tamil Nadu. So this matter has been raised in the morning. We have given adjournment motion, and the issue from morning onwards we are fighting. It is going on. The speaker is going on adjourning the house.
We have given a notice for suspense of the business and to discuss about the Meghadadu issue. And this is for the symbol of the farmers. So since the Meghadadu Dam construction will affect the lives of the farmers in Tamil Nadu, we are all raising our voice not to permit them to construct that, urging the union government to take necessary steps. So my 267 notice was not taken up at all, but as a token of protest and as a support to the farmers, we, the DMK members, were wearing a green towel.
The news and updates continue right here on NDTV 24/7 as always. We're slipping into a very quick break. We're back in a moment.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से, जय हो देश हो विदेश हो, जय के हो।
देश का टायर जेके टायर।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
जानते हैं मैं एलीट मैट्रिमोनी क्यों रेकमेंड करता हूं? 17 years of experience, largest database of elite profiles, और 100% confidentiality. Elite Matrimony, India's most successful matchmaking service for the elite.
The stage that has captured the pulse of leadership since 2006.
NDTV Profit Most Inspiring Leader of the Year Award goes to Mr. Anand Mahindra.
Celebrating visionary trailblazers and industry mega stars who redefine leadership every day. An unmatched legacy, unwavering trust, enduring credibility. NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards 2026. 26 July, only on NDTV.
This is the show where we bring you all the hot and happenings from the world of entertainment and lifestyle.
Really?
Fashion that made you gag. Films that made you fangirl. Art that made it to the gram, and trends that kept us with the program.
Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to a brand new show. I am your host Mayank Chaudhary and this is Limelight.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
India Inc.'s most respected names chose India Inc.'s best and brightest.
These kind of awards and jury lineup, you are truly giving it the right weightage.
I think it's heartening to see talent that there is across India Inc.
We should be awarding companies and individuals who have focused not only on growth
but also on bringing good governance.
Be part of jury and vote on the people, the men, the women, the companies in India who have the right stuff is a great opportunity for us.
For us, the biggest thing is trust. That's what we provide.
We need leaders in India that can help take India being a global superpower.
We've got a fantastic jury and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
The storm over the Delhi protests continues, to say the least. Agitators continue to sit at Jantar Mantar till late on Monday evening. Now, late night visuals, they also showed a PCR van, in fact, completely mobilized in Delhi's Janpath and several cops being treated for injuries. Meanwhile, activist Sonam Wangchuk has said he will continue his fast to youth leaders or Wangchuk himself does not meet members of parliament. His statements come despite Delhi High Court raising concerns over his health again. The court will hear the matter on his transfer to private hospital at 12:30 p.m. this afternoon. Meanwhile, yesterday, protesters met Union Minister J.P. Nadda. They also submitted a letter demanding resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, release of Sonam Wangchuk without prohibitory orders, and cash aid for families of students who died by suicide over the NEET paper leak. Meanwhile, NDTV's managing editor Shiva Rood, he spoke to the NCP-ASP spokesperson Anish Gawande. Here's more.
To start off with, I think Jay's assumption that this is a regime change operation funded by interests inimical to India is laughable at best. This morning I was at Jantar Mantar at 7 o'clock with Abhijit and we were singing Ma Tujhe Salam with a constitution in one hand and the Indian flag in the other. What could be a more Indian protest than this, right? And I must remind you that it was an entire month before the government deemed it important enough to engage with this protest. It was 3 days after they unceremoniously and illegally kidnapped Sonam Wangchuk from Jantar Mantar and took him to Safdarjung. It was also a major challenge in terms of getting the government to listen and announcing a Sansad Chalo March, which is the only thing that persuaded the government to come to the negotiating table. But I want to point out something that's very worrying. The protest was carried out peacefully for an entire month. But today, last night, I came back from Mumbai after an incredible protest at Azad Maidan, which saw thousands of people organized by the Shiv Sena UBT, and witnessed the complete removal of barricades and metal detectors and the purposeful allowing of anti-social elements, which is why I'm very curious to see where this conspiracy theory leads. We saw the removal of CCTV cameras from the premises, and we saw a lackadaisical attitude by the police towards such anti-social elements. So was this protest being hijacked? Was it being infiltrated? Was this being done to make protesters look bad? Are serious questions to answer. I don't want to raise such allegations upon the Delhi police unnecessarily or without any evidence.
Well, as you heard, was there a conspiracy behind Tuesday's Sansad Chalo protest that turned violent eventually? You see, Delhi police is investigating if the stir was genuine youth anger or mobilized mobs. That's what the version we are hearing from Delhi cops, at least.
It's 9 a.m. You are watching The Breakfast Show on NDTV 24/7. I am Parmeshwar Bava. Well, you've seen the visuals yesterday in the national capital across the country. You've also been able to tell that you can stop a march. You cannot so easily stop the resolve that brought thousands of citizens onto the streets. We get you all the finer details. First, the headlines. Delhi police has launched a probe in the violence against the police officials during the Sansad Chalo protest. Miscreants are said to have vandalized police vehicles in this FIR in Connaught Place during the protest. Security forces in Delhi cracked down on one of the biggest anti-government protests in recent years. Meanwhile, questions are mounting over the violence as the Delhi police claims that no individuals were subjected to targeted assault. Opposition parties have launched a blistering attack on the government over the police action during the Chalo Sansad March on the NEET paper leak issue, with Rahul Gandhi dubbing Prime Minister Narendra Modi as the most anti-youth Prime Minister in the country's history. Priyanka Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal and Mamata Banerjee are also criticising the government. The monsoon session is off to a stormy start amid opposition protests. Opposition parties are raising various issues, primarily the alleged NEET paper leak and Ram Temple donation theft. They are going to finalise their strategy at a floor leaders meeting at 10 a.m, while the NDA will hold its weekly Mangal Milan huddle. Chief Minister Joseph Vijay chaired an urgent high-level meeting to discuss the state's strategy against Karnataka's proposed Mekadatu Dam project, reaffirming the government's commitment to protecting Tamil Nadu's share of Kaveri waters. At least 8 people have died and several workers are still feared trapped after a landslide blocked an under-construction tunnel at the Samarung site in Sikkim's Namchi district. Four Indian nationals have lost their lives and another is in a critical condition after their ship came under attack while leaving the Ukrainian port of Odessa. India has strongly condemned this attack, saying the attack was deplorable and should be avoided. All right, we begin the 9 a.m. bulletin with breaking news we're tracking. As you know, yesterday, young people marched towards Parliament. In fact, people across age groups attempted to march towards Parliament. They knew the police were waiting. They came anyway. The CJP may have organized the mobilization, but the extraordinary scale of the response, that tells us this anger is much bigger than any one organization. The NEET row, the CBSE controversy, questions over paper leaks, examination security. Yesterday, this generation showed the government it has the numbers to demand answers. And now, the Delhi police has registered an FIR over yesterday's violence in Connaught Place, alleging vandalism of police vehicles and stone pelting near Regal Cinema 2. You must note that the FIR, however, is against unknown persons. At this stage, there is no official attribution of responsibility to any individual or any organization, according to the FIR. In fact, the FIR also says police vehicles were vandalized, stones were thrown at police personnel. The case, however, has been registered against unidentified people, and investigators are yet to establish who is really responsible for the violence. And that distinction is something we cannot ignore right now. At this stage, the FIR records the police's allegations. It doesn't identify any individual or organization as being responsible. Akhil Jamil has sent us the latest details. He joins us live at the moment. Akhil, break down for us first. What exactly does the FIR allege? And just as importantly, what does it not say?
Well, Parmeshwar, if you see, initially the permission was only granted for the protest at Jantar Mantar. What we have seen that there was no official permission which was granted to march from Jantar Mantar towards Parliament side. Despite no rulings, what we have seen that the CJP protesters moved from Jantar Mantar side towards Parliament. And if you see where this protest took an ugly turn, where the mob basically came forward, and what we have seen that there was a violent turn of event in which what we have seen that over 118 police personnel got injured. Apart from that, if you see, what we have also seen that in that very protest, senior officials, including the special CP rank officers, joint CP rank officer, additional CP rank officials, GCPs, so there were several senior high-ranking officials that have got injured. Apart from that, if you see, right now what we have seen that a case has already been filed at Connaught police station with the individuals being identified. There were some individuals who have been identified with the help of CCTV's cameras installed in the outer circle of the Connaught Place region. So right now the Delhi police team is trying to identify more and more individuals. But so far, if you see, there are 70 individuals who have been detained. Right now the Delhi police team is questioning them regarding their specific role and whether they have been given any kind of mandate or any kind of ruling from the senior leadership. So that is also being investigated by the Delhi police team. Right now you can see the visuals behind me. I'm at Safdarjung Hospital, where Sonam Wangchuk is still here. His treatment is still going on, and right now what we have got to know that his vitals are absolutely normal, and he's under the observations of medical doctor team, because earlier what we have seen that if you see the CJP team, and apart from that Sonam Wangchuk's wife has also claimed that they wanted to move Sonam from here, but right now his treatment is still on after the court rulings. The court has basically said that Sonam Wangchuk's condition has got critical, and after that the Delhi police team has taken Sonam from the spot side, from the Jantar Mantar protest side, towards this very hospital where his treatment is still underway.
Akhil, we'll continue to track all the finer details with you, along with how Mr. Wangchuk is doing. He has mentioned he will continue his indefinite hunger strike. For now, you must note that the crowds may have thinned overnight, but the resolve has not. Even late into Monday night, CJP protesters remained at Delhi's Jantar Mantar after a day that saw confrontation, it saw injuries, detentions, the lathi charge, the dramatic visuals that came in from the national capital. Police personnel were also injured during the clashes. And this morning, let's turn our attention to what happens next. As Akhil is reporting, Sonam Wangchuk says his fast will continue until CJP youth leaders or he himself are permitted to meet MPs. The court will hear the matter on his transfer to a private hospital, meanwhile today, post-noon at 12:30 p.m. to be specific. And the government has opened a line of communication, finally. After being mum, while this entire protest was going on in the national capital, Health Minister JP Nadda finally met protest leaders yesterday who reiterated demands including Sonam Wangchuk's release, the resignation of the Education Minister and the assistance for families affected by the alleged NEET paper leak. Before we get you all the finer details and the sentiment on ground zero, listen in to what Sonam Wangchuk's wife has to say.
This is a movement that has caught the imagination of the entire nation. We have people here from the whole country, and there are more than 25 lakh youth across 5-kilometer radius. The police and the government are only resorting to lies to control the situation or misuse of power. They are just doing lathi charge or misusing their power or using lies.
Well, that's the main argument. They say this is what a government needs to understand about a movement of citizens, that people don't travel, gather and stand in the face of tear gas and lathi charge because they have nothing better to do. They've come because something matters enough to them. The crowds have demonstrated their resolve. The government has now finally opened a channel of dialogue. Ishika's at Jantar Mantar this morning, tracking the latest details for us. She joins us live currently. Ishika, tell us first, what does the government plan to say to the citizens who've shown in the most visible way possible that they will not be ignored and that these are pertinent issues and they're demanding accountability?
Well, Parmeshwar, it seems that the government certainly has very less time to respond because, you know, these here, the Cockroach Janata Party supporters that you're seeing who continue to gather here at Jantar Mantar, they have made it completely clear that they will not be ending their protest until and unless they get assurance from the government regarding the demands that they have put forth. Remember, the 3 demands that were made by the CJP when they met the Union Health Minister JP Nadda was, number 1, that Sonam Wangchuk should be in fact, be allowed to leave in fact the Safdarjung Hospital. The second being the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan should resign, and the third being that 1 crore compensation be given to the students who died by suicide during the NEET paper leak. So currently we'll try to show you the visuals also here. You'll see that the protesters, even after yesterday's Sansad Chalo march, you'll see them gathering again here in support of the Cockroach Janata Party. Let me also show you the visuals of the stage that we are currently getting, Parmeshwar. Remember that yesterday this entire stage was removed by the Delhi police. But then again, in fact, it has been put back by, in fact, the supporters of the CJP, and they say that their protest is going to continue. Remember that Sonam Wangchuk has also made it very clear with his letter from the Safdarjung Hospital that his hunger strike is also going to continue until and unless CJP, protesters are allowed to meet the parliamentarians at Sansad Bhawan, or either those parliamentarians meet him at the Safdarjung Hospital. So these are the clear demands that have been listed by Sonam Wangchuk and the Cockroach Jantar Party. The government, however, it has not given so far any assurance to the Cockroach Jantar Party, but rather has appealed them to stop, in fact, their sit-in dharna, to end their sit-in dharna. In fact, let me tell you that the government sources have also told us that, in fact, there are internal meetings that are likely to take place today also to decide whether or not all the three demands of the Cockroach Jantar Party will be accepted. Over to you.
Ishika, as always, thanks so much for joining us live. We will, of course, keep in touch with you regarding what the government is saying behind closed doors as well. Well, security forces in Delhi, they cracked down on one of the biggest anti-government protests in recent years. Meanwhile, questions are mounting over the violence as the Delhi police claims that no individuals were subjected to targeted assault. You've seen the visuals yesterday, I beg your pardon, the videos, whether it's on your television screens, whether it's on your social media. Several videos have emerged. Some of them also show policemen, including DCP North, being injured, protesters as well injured, bleeding, police vehicles. In fact, a vehicle was vandalized. Delhi police say 70 people have been detained so far. Many of them are not students. Investigators are currently probing further details as an FIR has been filed against unknown miscreants. My colleague Akhil is tracking the latest for us, but here are the reactions you need to listen to at the moment.
There was an unlawful assembly जिसको डील किया गया. कुछ स्टोन पेल्टिंग के इंसिडेंट्स हुए हैं, कुछ प्रोटेस्टर्स को दिल्ली पुलिस ने डिटेन भी किया. अप्रोप्रिएट एक्शन लिया जा रहा है. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
काफ़ी मात्रा में वहाँ पर स्टूडेंट्स और स्टूडेंट जो प्रोटेस्ट था उसके बीच में काफ़ी सारे जो है राउडी टाइप लोग और किसी पर्टिकुलर पार्टी के लोग वहाँ पर मौजूद थे. या पर्टिकुलर जो है आप पहले की एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स हो सकते हैं जो हम पे पत्थर, जूते, क्या बोलते हैं स्टोन्स, ऐसे वाले ब्रिक्स वो उन्होंने डाला, कांच की बोतल्स. ठीक है, क्लैरिफाई कर देते हैं आप यहाँ पर स्टोन्स कहाँ से आ गए, पत्थर कहाँ से आ गए इस स्पॉट पे? ये तो हम भी हैरान थे, हम उसके लिए तैयार नहीं थे. हम स्टोन्स के लिए भी वर नॉट रेडी.
चोट लगी है आपको, ये स्टोन्स की वजह से
लगी स्टोन्स की वजह से. लेकिन जब स्टैम्पेड हुआ, जब हम भीड़ को पीछे कर रहे थे तो वहाँ पर लड़कियाँ उन्होंने आगे दिखाई थी कुछ टाइम के लिए. तो वो लड़कियाँ थी और वो भाग नहीं पाई. वो मतलब भीड़ में इससे पहले कि लड़के उनको कुचल दें, वो अपनी जान बचा के पीछे भाग रहे थे लड़के. और स्टैम्पेड में वो लड़कियाँ भी वहीं पर थी और उन लड़कियों को बचाने के एवज में मैं जो है घायल हूँ. मैं नीचे भी झुकी थी और मेरा हाथ या तो ट्विस्ट हुआ है.
Well, they came out in their thousands, people irrespective of age from across the country, carrying anger that has been building over the NEET row, the CBSE controversy and questions over the very examinations that decide their futures. The Cockroach Jantar Party gave this anger a platform, but the people have given it the power, many will tell you. And yesterday that power marched towards the gates of Parliament. The state responded with barricades, with brutality as we've seen, tear gas, lathi charge. The government is now considering the demands put forth and it has a choice. It can try to make this protest disappear, as the protesters are highlighting through a few concessions, or it can confront the much harder truth behind this mobilization. This is about a generation that is losing faith in the systems that decide its future. We are going to continue to track the latest for us, but you must note 70 people have been detained as investigators examine how the violence unfolded. There were visuals there of trucks loaded with stones. Many protesters highlighted that they have no idea who those trucks belong to, why they were filled with stones as well. You've already seen the kind of police force that was put in place, Rapid Action Force, Delhi Police, the kind of brutality we saw as well yesterday. Many opposition parties have raised questions regarding who issued these orders to state forces. Akhil is with us. to track the latest. Akhil, we are given to understand an FIR has been filed against unknown miscreants. What is the Delhi police saying this morning as Sonam Wangchuk continues his indefinite fast? And what is the government really considering behind closed doors?
Parveshwar, if you see, initially when we have got the details from the DCP of the new district police team, Mr. Sachin Sharma, he has conveyed this to us that initially 70 individuals were detained. And this was the data which were given before the FIR was filed. This was the last night data. And what we have seen that last night, this FIR was filed. So once the FIR has already been filed, now we will start to see arresting process going or moving forward in this direction, because initially when this very incident has taken place, when the mob basically turned violent, stones were pelted at police officials. I have spoken to several police officials who have got injured, and last night I was speaking to another official from the Rapid Action Force department, and she has said that if you see her in one of the protests, her right arm was broken, and in this very protest what we have seen that her left arm has also got broken, and she was saying that, and I quote her, at that point in time when the unruly mob came forward, at that stage there were some anti-social elements that were part of that very mob. So those anti-social elements will be found out by the Delhi police team, that who those individuals were. The CCTV cameras installed in the first zone is being scanned, because if you see earlier what we have seen that the entire New Delhi district area was divided into 15 zones, and out of those 15 zones what we have seen that 7 to 8 zones were completely volatile, because the situation has basically turned completely violent from Mandi House region. If you move towards the Latin zone side of the national capital, which include the Firoz Shah Road towards the Janpat Road, towards Ashoka Road, Lemuridian Circle and Shangri-La Circle. So on those circles what we have seen that there were traffic snarl for more than 2 to 3 hours. So not only at one location, only at Jantar Mantar or at Parliament Street, across the Latian zone what we have seen that across 7 to 8 zones what we have seen that there was a mob incident that has taken place. There was an aggressive mob mentality which has been shown, unruly behaviors which have been shown, and after that what we have seen that when those individuals try to attack the police personnel as well. So right now the investigation is currently underway by the Delhi police team regarding this very incident, in which what we have seen that more than 6 to 7 senior IPS officers have also got injured. Over 120 police personnel have got injured. Not only the Delhi police personnel, this is the data of the Delhi police. If you see from the CRPF, the Rapid Action Force team, what we have seen that more than 15 police personnel have also got injured. So right now the Delhi police team is looking into it, investigating it from all the angles, that who those individuals were who basically used this as a tool to create anarchy in the national capital, especially in the Latin zone.
Akhil, we'll continue to track the facts with you as always. Thanks so much. We've seen the dramatic visuals yesterday. Armed personnel with sophisticated weapons aimed at whom? Students. And that's the image the government has to answer for. You know, the story cannot remain at the level of a protest was held, talks have begun. The question is actually why was the force used first? Whether the force used was proportionate, who authorized it, and what happened on the ground, and whether the state's response has now deepened the very anger it was trying to contain. Throughout yesterday, though, several dramatic claims circulated on social media as well, including allegations that Sonam Wangchuk's wife had been assaulted, that the protest organizer Abhijit Dipke had been detained, and claims of large numbers of seriously injured protesters. We've seen the visuals for our own eyes. We've seen what happened to the protesters. Delhi police, though, has publicly rejected these specific claims, calling them false and urging people not to amplify unverified information. At the same time, speaking of misinformation should also distract us from the larger story that thousands of citizens exercise their democratic right to assemble, to question the government, and also raise questions surrounding yesterday's violence that will ultimately have to be answered through evidence, of course not through viral posts. We'll continue to track the latest for you as far as Jantar Mantar is concerned and the actions specific to New Delhi. But you must also note that the TVK has now responded to the entire mobilization and slammed the police crackdown on protesters. In fact, a minister of the TVK has said students were severely attacked by the police. You and I have also seen those visuals on social media. The minister adding that we strongly condemn this action and that students' demands are completely genuine and that they should be fulfilled. As you know, Mr. JP Nadda has initiated a dialogue with two leaders of the Cockroach Jantar Party, but this is bigger than the Cockroach Jantar Party, as we have been highlighting time and again. For the latest on the TVK, we will be going across to Tejshi Purandare, but first listen in to what the leaders said.
We know that last few days students has been protesting in Delhi and today all the students has been severely attacked by the Delhi police and we strongly condemn the act of Delhi police on this on the attack on the students. And apart from that, the central government should call the students. They have already called, but it is too late. But they have to talk to the students and fulfill their request, because it is a genuine request. It is not only theirs, but it is a request of all over India, because whatever they have asked is a very genuine request, and definitely central government should fulfill the request and make the inform the students and get the protest solved as soon as possible.
Tejshi Purandare is with us for more on this as well. Tejshi, as we have been informing our viewers as well, opposition parties have launched a blistering attack on the government over the police action we've seen during the Chalo Sansad March in New Delhi. Rahul Gandhi has called Prime Minister Modi the most anti-youth Prime Minister. Priyanka Gandhi, Akhilesh Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal, Mamata Banerjee, all criticizing the government. And now the TVK also weighing in, criticizing the police action that we saw yesterday in the national capital.
Well, yes, absolutely, Parmeshwar. You see, as far as this protest is concerned, there were many opposition MPs who showed their support to all these protesters and did visit Jantar Mantar as well and met all those student groups who were sitting on the other side. Apart from that, there are many MPs as well who have given adjournment notices in the parliament to hold discussions upon the kind of lathi charge that happened on the students. The MPs believe that there was quite of a violence from the side of police and that the students were just demanding the resignation and they wanted to have a discussion on the NEET paper leak. The MPs wanted to have a discussion on the NEET paper leak, which did not take place. So all in all, they again have stated that the discussion should take place in both the houses. Number one. Number two, the brutality that police showed, according to the MPs, is completely unacceptable. However, we have also seen in the pictures as well that yes, it is a fact that there was lathi charge in students, and yes, it is also a fact that the students were also injured and more than 70 police personnel were also injured in this entire protest. Also, apart from that, the tear gas shells were also fired. But apart from that, said by the MPs from the Congress have been demanding discussion, have been slamming the government. But apart from that, the TVK minister has also now come up to slam the government and have been questioning the manner in which the incidents unfolded yesterday. Back to you, Parmeshwar.
We'll continue to track all the political responses coming in with you, Tejshi. As always, thanks so much. Well, clashes between the police and protesters, the use of tear gas, the kind of brutality we have seen yesterday. It's left more than 70 people injured. Actually, many protesters are injured. 100 police personnel were also injured. The opposition has seized on the visuals to question the government's handling of this protest in the national capital. Rahul Gandhi accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of being anti-youth. Priyanka Gandhi questioned the use of force against students. Well, Akhilesh Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal and Mamata Banerjee, they have all criticized the centre. After yesterday's meeting with Health Minister JP Nadda, protesters say they are waiting for the government's response to their three key demands. Now, the big question is, will the next move now rest with the government? Will they have a positive response for those who have descended on the streets? Will they offer a roadmap or risk allowing this confrontation to deepen? Here are the reactions you can't afford to ignore.
This country has a majority of young people. Prime Minister Modi is the most anti-youth Prime Minister India has ever had. The boys and girls who are walking the streets of Delhi are not criminals. They are demanding their rights. Their rights are to have an education system that respects them, to have an education system that is fair, to have an education system that is working. There's absolutely nothing wrong in what they're doing, and it's disgusting what the government is doing and what the police is doing.
Problems हैं, बड़े-बड़े issues हैं, आप discuss करने के लिए राजी नहीं है और बच्चों पे आप tear gas कर रहे हो और उनकी पिटाई कर रहे हो, किस लिए? बच्चे हमारे.
Thank you, ma'am.
जो देखा और जो व्यवहार सरकार का और पुलिस का था, लाठी चलाना, आंसू गैस के गोले चलवाना, प्राइवेट ड्रेस में पुलिस आकर के छात्रों को, युवाओं के साथ जो व्यवहार किया है, सुनने में आ रहा है कि कुछ इलेक्ट्रिक टॉर्च भी थी या डंडी जो भी बोलेंगे उसको, लोगों को चोट लगी है, युवाओं के बड़े पैमाने पे चोट लगी है, बड़े पैमाने पे घायल हुए हैं। सरकार को ये उम्मीद नहीं थी कि छात्र नौजवान इतनी बड़ी संख्या में आ जाएंगे। ये सबसे बड़ा फेलियर है और किसी फेलियर के लिए ही आए हैं लोग। आप नीट की परीक्षा नहीं करा पा रहे हैं और जो परीक्षा कराई जिस तरह से धांधली हुई है, सब बीजेपी के लोग शामिल हैं उसमें।
ये हमारे देश के युवा इस समय बहुत दुखी हैं और बहुत गुस्से में हैं। जिस तरह से हमारे देश का एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम है, पहले पेपर लीक हो गए, यूपीएससी के पूरे इवैल्यूएशन सिस्टम में बहुत बड़ा स्कैम हो गया, बच्चों के नंबर सारे गलत आ गए। फिर रीनीट का पेपर हुआ, नीट का पेपर दोबारा हुआ, उसका पूरा इवैल्यूएशन सिस्टम गड़बड़ हो गया। बच्चे शिकायत पे शिकायत करते रहे, लेकिन कोई उनकी सुनवाई नहीं हुई। अब बच्चे और उनके पेरेंट्स कहाँ जाएं, किसके पास जाएं, किसके पास जाके गुहार करें? सरकार सुनती नहीं है। तो जब बच्चों ने सड़क पे उतर के आंदोलन किया, बच्चे क्या मांग रहे हैं? ये तो मांग रहे हैं एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम ठीक करो, शिक्षा की पद्धति ठीक करो, और तो कुछ नहीं मांग रहे। बच्चे कुछ गलत तो मांग नहीं रहे।
हमने कभी ऐसा नहीं देखा, इतनी असंवेदनशील सरकार कभी देखी नहीं, इतने तानाशाही जैसा बर्ताव कभी देखा नहीं है। और घमंड, कॉकरोच है, मार डालो, ये अप्रोच है इनका।
Sonam Wangchuk has communicated his decision to Shri Abhijit Dubke that he don't stop his hunger strike. He is continuing his hunger strike. So, in that context, they have decided that they will continue the agitation. They won't vacate Jantar Mantar till Dharmendra Pradhan resigns.
Protest is the most democratic form of expressing the people's opinion, and they have been valid questions. Unfortunately, the government does not want to address or answer the questions, and they resort to violence against the people who are raising these questions, and this is totally unacceptable.
Meanwhile, after a stormy opening day of the monsoon session, all eyes are now on day 2 of the Parliament battle. The first day was marked by repeated disruptions, slogans, placards, uproar, with both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha witnessing multiple adjournments. But the opposition raised the NEET issue and the Ram Temple donation row, leading to a sharp face-off with the government. Now, the question is whether day 2 will see more disruptions or a return to debate, because opposition floor leaders, they are set to meet this morning at 10 a.m, while the NDA will hold its weekly strategy they now call Mangal Milan. The government, meanwhile, is likely to move a bill to criminalize insulting Vande Mataram, adding another flashpoint to this already heated debate. We've got crucial reactions lined up for you. Listen in.
वंदे मातरम तो आज़ादी के पहले से गाया जाता था, और जब वंदे मातरम की गाते थे तो अंग्रेज जेल में ठूस देते थे, तब ये उनके मुखबिरी कर रहे थे, बताते थे कौन वंदे मातरम गा रहा है और सजा दिलवाते थे, है ना। आज बड़े भक्त बन गए हैं।
Well, yesterday the streets dominated the national conversation. Today the focus is shifting to Parliament after a day marked by disruption inside the House and a massive mobilization outside it. Both the opposition and the government are preparing for another political face-off, we're told. Opposition floor leaders are meeting Mallikarjun Kharge, and they're going to be assembling at the chamber this morning. They're expected to once again press the government on the NEET controversy and the Ram Temple theft issue. The NDA too will hold its own weekly strategy meeting, even as sources tell NDTV that the NCPI is unlikely to attend today's Mangal Milan. But as Parliament grapples with the political fallout from the protests that we've seen, Home Minister Amit Shah is expected to move a bill to criminalize insults to Vande Mataram, keeping the government's legislative agenda on track, even as the opposition pushes for a debate on the NEET issue and the unrest that has followed and the brutality we've witnessed firsthand in the national capital. After the images from the streets yesterday, the question before Parliament is larger than just disruptions. Will the concerns that brought thousands of people onto the streets find space inside the House? Or will another day of political confrontation leave those questions unanswered? For more on this, let's go across to Tejshri Purandare, tracking what to expect in Parliament today. Tejshri, take us through the plan of action. We're given to understand that there are two simultaneous huddles, one led by the opposition and one by the NDA.
Well, let's absolutely remember that today there is a meeting of India Bloc as well at 10 o'clock, where they will be deciding upon so as to what will be the strategy of the opposition in the parliament, say it be the NEET examination, say it be the alleged theft in Ram Mandir donation fund. Apart from that, there are also a number of issues that the opposition wants to be discussed on the floor of the House. But again, depends so as to the manner in which the protest took place within the parliament. There was a lot of sloganeering we saw. There was a lot of ruckus in the parliament, and back to back, the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, both the houses were adjourned, and today also it's expected the same as well, because we have been seeing that how the MPs have been giving adjournment notices in both the houses regarding the discussion, not just on the NEET, but the manner in which the events unfolded yesterday in the national capital, said be the lathi charge on the students, or according to the MPs, the brutality that was shown by the police over the student groups who were protesting near around and at and near around the areas of the Jantar Mantar. Remains to be seen that what happens today in the parliament. However, remember that this India Bloc meeting at 10 a.m. Definitely is very, very important because all the MPs will be holding, all the opposition parties will be holding this meeting to strategize their upcoming agenda for the day 2 of Parliament's monsoon session.
Tejshri, we'll of course continue to track the latest with you. Thanks so much for joining us. All right. Let's turn our attention to the other crucial update we're tracking. A large contingent of farmers from Punjab left for Delhi to participate in a Mahapanchayat today against the proposed India-US trade agreement. This gathering is set to be held at Delhi's Kisan Ghat. It's been called by the Desh Bachao Morcha, with organizers claiming that around 550 farmers' unions and social organizations from across our country are taking part. In fact, the Kisan Mazdoor Sangharsh Committee Punjab leader, he had alleged that the proposed trade pact would adversely affect Indian farmers. It would also affect laborers, small traders and the broader public. He's basically claimed that the agreement was aimed at benefiting American companies and American farmers while ignoring the interests of India's small and marginal cultivators. We've got crucial reactions lined up for you this morning. Listen in, followed by Mohammed Ghazali's detailed reports.
ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਠਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ 4 ਘੰਟਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਕਿਸਾਨ ਘਾਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ 'ਚ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਜਾਣਾ। ਪਰ ਖਬਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੰਭੂ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸਾ ਬੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਹੁਣ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਖੁਦ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਕਲੀਫ ਦੇ ਰਹੀ ਆ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਚੈਨਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂ ਬੰਦ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਜਦੋਂ 4 ਘੰਟੇ ਲਈ ਜਾਣਾ, ਹਰਿਆਣੇ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ੀ ਸੜਕ ਇਸਤੇਮਾਲ ਕਰ, हरियाणा तक कोई साडा धरना नहीं है, हरियाणा टप के दिल्ली च, फिर हरियाणा सरकार क्यों रोक दिया?
अहम बात है कि ना तो हरियाणा गवर्नमेंट ने नोटिफिकेशन किया है कि हम रोड डाइवर्ट कर रहे हैं या रोड बंद कर रहे हैं, और ना ही पंजाब सरकार से कोई की तरफ से सूचना थी। और जो बैरिगेशन हुई है फिर से, मतलब कि ये 13 फरवरी 2024 को यही बैरिगेशन थी। यही बैरिगेशन आप पंजाब की सरहद के अंदर है, बिल्कुल पंजाब के एरिए के अंदर। हरियाणा तो यहाँ से लगभग 500-400 मीटर आगे जाके शुरू होता है। तो ये जो क्लैब है, ये रिश्ता क्या कहलाता है? मतलब कि
आप कह रहे हैं कि पंजाब सरकार ने अलाउ किया है?
बिल्कुल, पंजाब सरकार ने अलाउ किया, तभी तो हुआ कि मेरी सरजमी पर आप कैसे लगा सकते हैं? ये गग्गर टोटल है, ये पंजाब के अंदर है, और ये बिल्कुल बीच में पुल पे बैरिगेशन हुई है। तो लेकिन लोगों की सुविधा के लिए हमने घोषणा कर दी थी कि हम 21 तारीख को एक दिन के लिए किसान घाट पर जाएंगे। तो हमारी तरफ से कोई मतलब कि
एक ही दिन है ना, ये लंबा बैठने वाला तो नहीं है।
एक ही दिन का था, एक रैली थी, एक महापंचायत थी। अपनी बात रखने के लिए यूएस डील हो रही है, जो अमेरिका भारत व्यापार समझौता था, उसको रद्द करवाने के लिए सिर्फ एक दिन का प्रोग्राम, और बहुत पीसफुल। कोई ट्रैक्टर नहीं था, कोई ट्राली नहीं थी, कोई हमारे पास लंगर की व्यवस्था भी नहीं थी। हम बसों से जा रहे थे, आज जाना था, शाम को वापस आ जाना था। तो इतना सरकार डर गई है ना कि अपनी बात भी नहीं रखने दिया जा सकते।
It's lovely morning out here in Punjab. I'm right now reporting from near the Shambhu border, which borders Patiala and Ambala district of Haryana, Patiala of Punjab and Ambala district of Haryana. But what you see behind me doesn't suggest that the situation is going to be as calm as it looks now. The farmers from across the Punjab have now are now coming towards the Shambhu border. They want to go to Delhi. Actually, they are protesting against the India-US trade deal. The farmer leaders have argued that the proposed agreement between the India-US trade deal extends far beyond the import and export of a handful of commodities. They contend that negotiations could encompass agriculture, dairy, industry, digital trade, services, investment, energy, intellectual property rights and broader market access, making it a far-reaching economic agreement with potentially significant implications for multiple sectors. And that is why farmers from across the Punjab are marching, have left their villages from different districts of Punjab. They want to go to Delhi to protest, and right now you can see the security arrangement out here near the Shambhu border. You might have seen it as well in the past when farmers want to march towards Delhi. This is the route which they follow, which they take while traveling from Punjab towards Delhi.
Well, the roads to Delhi are once again becoming the stage for a familiar democratic contest. Farmers are marching to the capital, convinced that their concerns over the proposed India-US trade agreement deserve to be heard. Organisers are saying that today's Mahapanchayat could draw support from hundreds of farmers' unions, and the police have tightened security at the Shambhu border, signalling that authorities are preparing for another day of confrontation if protesters attempt to move towards Delhi. But for a reality check on the ground, let's go across to my colleague Soumya Jaiswal, who joins us live from the Kisan Ghat this morning in Delhi. Soumya, thanks so much for joining us live from the spot. How large is the mobilization this morning compared to what organisers had expected? And also tell us, beyond opposition to this proposed India-US trade agreement, what are farmers telling you that's driven them to Delhi today?
Well, you can see behind me the visuals. We have a heavy deployment here of RAF officials. It's not just today, it's not just the Delhi police officials. Something big is expected. The farmers are expected in large numbers here inside the Kisan Ghat to be proposed to protest against the proposed trade agreement between India and the United States. So, for that, keeping in mind there is heavy deployment of police officials. You can see the entire stretch has been taken over by police officials. With that, they have placed a riot control vehicle as well. So the Delhi police officials and the other security forces concerned here have come completely prepared. The entire stretch right from Rajghat to Kisan Ghat has been completely barricaded. Different vantage points have been closed off. Vehicle movements, the normal public movement from this entire stretch has been diverted as well. However, at the main point, farmers have started gathering, but the Delhi police is saying that they have denied any such permission to protest inside inside the Kisan Ghat. You can see behind me, this is the main entrance of the Kisan Ghat. Security forces are also present inside the Kisan Ghat as well. So it's not just outside the entire stretch, but there is presence of police officials, security forces within the vicinity of Kisan Ghat. And now we talk about what the farmers have to say. They were saying that it was going to be a completely peaceful protest. It was just going to be a one-day rally, and they were trying to show their dissent against this proposed trade agreement, which is supposed to take place between India and the United States. They're saying that it will have far more severe implications with regards to different sectors, and several other sectors will be affected if it comes into force, and that's what they're trying to convey to the government. These are the developments that we're picking up with regards to what's happening outside Kisan Ghat.
We'll, of course, continue to track all the finer developments with you on ground. Thanks so much, Soumya, for joining us. That's as far as the farmers' mobilization is concerned. They have clear demands. They are unhappy with the finer print of the proposed India-US trade agreement. We'll, of course, continue to cover the latest for you. For now, let's turn our attention to the Tamil Nadu-Karnataka standoff over the Mekadatu Dam project that has once again resumed. You see, Chief Minister Vijay just yesterday had held a key meeting with senior ministers. The DMK, meanwhile, too, was seen raising the issue in Parliament. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister C.T.R. Nirmal Kumar said that Chief Minister Vijay's meeting was held in order to chalk out the next steps over the resolution of the Kaveri issues, which he assured will be done in the next 1 or 2 weeks. Now, in the House, though, the DMK MPs staged a protest by wearing green towels in solidarity with farmers. DMK MP Thiruchi Siva said that his party will soon raise the issue in both houses, seeking reconstitution of the tribunal on the Kaveri water and Mekadatu Dam issue.
CM called for a meeting with all the experts and the legal experts who have been involved in this for last 15 years, and definitely CM has done the review with all this, and within 1 or 2 weeks CM will come out with the solution on the next approach on this Meghdad and Kaveri issue.
Maharashtra, when Maharashtra could waive 36,000 crores of loans for farmers, nearly 55 lakh farmers, their loans have been waived. Why can't Tamil Nadu do it? He has announced 2,000 crores of waiver of loans, another 15,000 crores. It is his promise to the people. So he has to upkeep his promise, and he should do it immediately, because this is a super El Nino year. Already Karnataka has not released water in the Kaveri, and June 12th the Medu Dam was supposed to open, and today there is not even water for drinking in Medu Dam today, leave alone agricultural. So this is going to be a very distressed year.
The issue of construction of Meghdadu Dam in Karnataka, against the orders of the Supreme Court, and settled the case in the tribunal of Kaveri dispute. In spite of many requests, many demands, and resolution in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, the government of Tamil Nadu is very much adamant, and they are very cruel towards the farmers of Tamil Nadu. So this matter has been raised in the morning. We have given adjournment motion, and the issue from morning onwards we are fighting. It is going on. The speaker is going on adjourning the house.
We have given a notice for suspension of the business and to discuss about the Meghdadu issue. And this is for the symbol of the farmers. So since the Meghdadu Dam construction will affect the lives of the farmers in Tamil Nadu, we are all raising our voice not to permit them to construct that, urging the union government to take necessary steps. So my 267 notice was not taken up at all, but as a token of protest and as a support to the farmers, we, the DMK members, were wearing a green towel.
Well, the Tamil Nadu-Karnataka standoff over the Mekadatu Dam project has once again resumed, as you can tell, with Chief Minister Vijay holding a key meeting with senior ministers just yesterday. The DMK also raising it in Parliament, with the Tamil Nadu Minister CTR Nirmal Kumar saying that Mr. Vijay's meeting was held in order to chalk out the next steps over the resolution of the Kaveri issues, which basically he has assured will be done in the next 1 or 2 weeks. On that note, let's turn our attention to further details coming in this morning. This is regarding the crucial NDA key huddle ahead of day 2 of the monsoon session. As we mentioned earlier, there were 2 simultaneous meetings happening, one led by the opposition at Mallikarjun Kharge's chambers at 10 a.m. We are told that the NDA is kick-starting its key huddle ahead of day 2 of the monsoon session. As Parliament grapples with the political fallout from the protests in the national capital, Amit Shah is expected to move a bill to criminalize insults to Vande Mataram, keeping the government's legislative agenda on track, even as the opposition pushes for a debate on crucial issues like the NEET and the unrest we have just witnessed. Aishwarya Jain is with us to take us through what's happening in that NDA huddle. Aishwarya, take us through the insider details. We now have fresh visuals coming in.
Well, the NDA Mangal Milan, which is the NDA Parliamentary Party meeting, is underway. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just arrived, and it is all the NDA leaders which are welcomed by Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju at this point in time. What they've been also told is that the newly joined Bharatiya Janata Party Rajya Sabha MPs, that includes the ex-Aam Aadmi Party MPs, will be welcomed today in the Mangal Milan, as it is the first NDA Parliamentary Party meeting for them. It is also, the NDA which will felicitate and congratulate Prime Minister Narendra Modi in this party meeting for becoming India's longest elected Prime Minister of the country. And certainly after that, it is Prime Minister Narendra Modi who would be addressing the NDA MPs who are a part of it. Certainly the NCPI is not attending this meeting as they have not yet been recognized by the Lok Sabha Speaker. But on the other side, it is contrary to that, opposition is also meeting inside the parliament premises where Mallikarjun Kharge has called the India Alliance meeting to formalize their own strategy as well. But the visuals that we see on our screens are the Prime Minister clearly now will be addressing the NDA MPs so that the monsoon session of Parliament can be more constructive and there could be debate, deliberation that can happen smoothly. Altogether, the opposition has stated that there are their own demands in this monsoon session, and if the demand of seeking accountability from the government on the education reforms and the kind of paper leak that has happened in the past, until and unless that doesn't happen, the opposition will continue to disrupt the monsoon session.
All right. Well, the NDA's weekly strategy meeting, this actually has now been rebranded as the Mangal Milan. So it's their first Mangal Milan and that they have congregated for. Fresh visuals coming in from the Parliament complex. Outside Parliament, questions over the protests, the police response and the demands of thousands of demonstrators continue to dominate the conversation. Inside, Aishwarya, is it fair to say that the challenge for the government is to navigate both its legislative agenda and the political pressure that has followed since yesterday's events in the national capital?
Well, certainly. The government is open for talks, and that's for the reason perhaps yesterday we have seen how JP Nadda invited the delegation from the Cockroach Jantar Party, and the two members from the CJP went to the residence. They submitted their memorandum. We spoke to JP Nadda this morning while he was entering the Mangal Milan Samaroh. It is JP Nadda who had stated that the talks were very nice and he will be briefing perhaps after the NDA Parliamentary Party meet gets over. The source is also indicating to us that the government might issue a statement in the upper house of the parliament as far as the entire protest that erupted in the national capital. What government stance is. The government is open for talks. The channel is open on part of the government. Their demands will be met or not is something that remains to be seen. But the government has been clearly stating that the reforms that these students are speaking about that has been done in the past, and therefore the reason perhaps successful NEET examinations were conducted in the past, and also there are results which are out and students have already got admission in different colleges as well. The government is stating that if there is more need for having reforms, there is always parliament that is there for having a debate, and the opposition, the request by the government from the opposition is that they should not disturb the parliament, rather they should be constructive debate and discussion on the education reform, which government is absolutely ready for.
Well, for the ruling alliance, today's hurdle is about far more than parliamentary floor management. That's quite evident. The government is facing two tests simultaneously. Pushing ahead with its legislative priorities while also responding to a protest movement that has demonstrated both scale and staying in power. Speaking of the agenda, though, Aishwarya, take us through the issues that the opposition is likely to raise today, the top two issues.
Well, the opposition has made it very clear yesterday as well when Mallikarjun Kharge called the meeting of the India Alliance. It is the opposition parties which have stated that their first and most important priority is to rake up the issue of the alleged NEET paper scam, and also the protest that is taking place in Delhi and how they are forceful protest that the security personnel have used forceful things as far as the students are concerned. On the other side, it is the Ram Mandir Ayodhya temple donation scam, which is another most important issue for the opposition parties that they are going to rake up, and until and unless these two things are not something that the government is admitting to have a discussion, they will continue to disrupt, and that's what will be decided in today's meeting as well, where Mallikarjun Kharge is deliberating with the pro-leaders of the opposition parties. It is the Mangal Milan which has their own agenda in their mind. It is, of course,
interrupting you, quick question. Dharmendra Pradhan is present at that meeting. I'm just trying to look at the visuals more finely. Dharmendra Pradhan's there?
Well, yes, the education minister is also attending the Mangal Milan, which is the NDA Parliamentary Party meeting today, along with all the other senior cabinet ministers and the NDA members from different political parties.
Aishwarya, as always, we'll continue to track the latest details with you. The cameras are capturing a routine weekly meeting on your screen. The political context is anything but routine. We continue to track all the finer developments after this short break. See you in a moment.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से जय हो देश हो विदेश हो जय हो
देश का टायर जेके टायर।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
जानते हैं मैं एलीट मैट्रिमोनी क्यों रिकमेंड करता हूँ? 17 years of experience, largest database of elite profiles, और 100% confidentiality. Elite Matrimony, India's most successful matchmaking service for the elite.
The stage that has captured the pulse of leadership since 2006.
NDTV Profit Most Inspiring Leader of the Year Award goes to Mr. Anand Mahindra.
Celebrating visionary trailblazers and industry mega stars who redefine leadership every day. An unmatched legacy, unwavering trust, enduring credibility. NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards 2026. 26 July. Only on NDTV.
This is the show where we bring you all the hot and happenings from the world of entertainment and lifestyle.
Really?
Fashion that made you gag. Films that made you fangirl. Art that made it to the gram, and trends that kept us with the program.
Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to a brand new show. I am your host Mayank Chaudhary and this is Limelight.
मीठा या नमकीन चाहे जैसे खाओ 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली स्वादिष्ट सेहतमंद हर रोज.
The storm over the Delhi protest continues, to say the least. Agitators continue to sit at Jantar, Mantar till late on Monday.
Welcome back. Well, Britain has a new Prime Minister. Andy Burnham has taken charge of 10 Downing Street and he vowed to make his premiership a circuit breaker for Britain as he delivered his first speech. The new Prime Minister's speech promised the biggest changes in the last 40 years. But analysts say they raise expectations no politician can possibly meet. So what does this mean for our relationship with the UK? Will the India-UK free trade agreement stay on course? And there are many questions about visas, about Indian students, and the 2 million strong Indian diaspora too. Here are the details you cannot ignore.
He was widely known as the King of the North. Now Andy Burnham is Britain's new Prime Minister. The former Mayor of Greater Manchester has replaced Keir Starmer, promising to fix Britain's struggling economy, improve public services, and restore trust in politics after years of turbulence. But what does Burnham's rise mean for India? The first message is one of continuity. The landmark India-UK FTA has just come into force, and experts expect Burnham to preserve the momentum rather than rewrite Britain's India policy. That means greater opportunities for Indian exporters, more investment flowing both ways, and stronger cooperation in technology, defense, education, and clean energy. For the nearly 2 million people of Indian origin living in Britain, stability in government could also bring greater policy certainty on business and skills.
Later this year, I will bring forward a new plan
for Britain, a 10-year plan, laying out a path from where we are now to where I believe we all want Britain to be, wherever we're coming from, whatever party we support.
But there are questions too. Burnham has signalled continuation of a tough approach on immigration. His focus will also be on domestic priorities like the cost of living crisis and reforming public services. Any future changes to visa or migration rules will be closely watched by Indian students and professionals planning to move to the UK. The faces at Downing Street may have changed, but the strategic partnership between London and New Delhi appears set to remain firmly on track. Bureau report for NDTV World.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से। देश का टायर जेके टायर।
जानते हैं मैं एलीट मैट्रिमोनी क्यों रिकमेंड करता हूं? 17 years of experience, largest database of elite profiles, और 100% confidentiality. Elite Matrimony, India's most successful matchmaking service for the elite.
India Inc.'s most respected names chose India Inc.'s best and brightest.
These kind of awards and jury lineup, you are truly giving it the right weightage.
I think it's heartening to see talent that there is across India Inc.
We should be awarding companies and individuals who have focused not only on growth but also on bringing good governance.
Be part of jury and vote on the people, the men, the women, the companies in India who have the right stuff is a great opportunity for us.
For us, the biggest thing is trust. That's what we provide.
We need leaders in India that can help take India being a global superpower.
We've got a fantastic jury and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
The stage that has captured the pulse of leadership since 2006.
NDTV Profit Most Inspiring Leader of the Year Award goes to Mr. Anand Mahindra.
Celebrating visionary trailblazers and industry mega stars who redefine leadership every day. An unmatched legacy, unwavering trust, enduring credibility. NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards 2026. 26 July. Only on NDTV.
This is the show where we bring you all the hot and happenings from the world of entertainment and lifestyle.
Really?
Fashion that made you gag. Films that made you fangirl. Art that made it to the gram, and trends that kept us with the program.
Let's get it.
Hello and welcome to a brand new show. I am your host Mayank Chaudhary and this is Limelight.
The news, Ayush. Since when do we do scripts? Fair point. Picture this. The biggest stage. Floodlights. Wow. 4K. The works. Where's the hook? There's going to be celebrities and guaranteed eyeballs. Where's the hook? Think about this. Front page advertisements and hoardings. Bro, where's the hook? Cross-platform. Digital first.
मीठा या नमकीन चाहे जैसे खाओ 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली स्वादिष्ट सेहतमंद हर रोज.
Storm over the Delhi protests continues, to say the least. Agitators continue to sit at Jantar, Mantar till late on Monday evening. Now, late night visuals, they also showed a PCR van, in fact, completely mobilized in Delhi's Janpat and several cops being treated for injuries. Meanwhile, activist Sonam Wangchuk has said he will continue his fast till youth leaders or Wangchuk himself does not meet members of parliament. His statements come despite Delhi High Court raising concerns over his health again. The court will hear the matter on his transfer to private hospital at 12:30 p.m. this afternoon. Meanwhile, yesterday, protesters met Union Minister J.P. Nadda. They also submitted a letter demanding resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, release of Sonam Wangchuk without prohibitory orders, and cash aid for families of students who died by suicide over the NEET paper leak.
It's 10 a.m. You are watching The Breakfast Show on NDTV 24/7. I am Parmeshwar Bava. An action-packed bulletin lined up. Let's start with the headlines. Delhi Police has registered an FIR at Connaught Place Station following the violence near Regal Cinema. According to the FIR, police vehicles were vandalized, stones were thrown at police personnel. The case, however, has been registered against unidentified people, and investigators are yet to establish who was responsible for the violence. The opposition launches a blistering attack on the centre after police crackdown on protesters and the brutality we witnessed in the national capital. Opposition parties are saying the centre should be engaging with students rather than turning a blind eye. Meanwhile, the farmers from Punjab are marching towards Delhi for a Mahapanchayat, protesting the proposed India-US trade agreement, saying there shouldn't be harmful trade concessions. Shambhu border has already been sealed and the troop deployment there has been increased. Chief Minister Joseph Vijay chaired an urgent high-level meeting to discuss the state's strategy against Karnataka's proposed Mekadatu Dam project. Eight people have been killed in a tragedy in Sikkim. At least 18 people are still trapped in this landslide that caused a tunnel to collapse. There are hopes for survival as the rescue operations are continuing. 4 Indian seafarers have been killed after their ship came under attack while leaving the Ukrainian port of Odessa. India has strongly condemned the attack. All right, we begin the 10 a.m. bulletin with breaking news we're tracking. As thousands of young people continue to demand accountability on the streets, the Prime Minister has finally chosen to speak directly to India's youth, but in a very different register. In this video message that's been released this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi says every particle of the Prime Minister's body, every moment of time is dedicated to the future of your children. This message speaks about commitment, it speaks about aspiration as well, and the future of young Indians. Let me tell you what it does not do though. It does not directly address the protests that have drawn thousands of people onto the streets, the confrontation witnessed yesterday, or the demands that have become the center of a national political debate now. The Prime Minister's outreach comes at a politically significant moment though, because thousands have descended on the street, young people, irrespective of age, etc. And this is the message he has just posted.
ये मोदी इसलिए मेहनत करता है कि जब आप 40-45 साल के हो, जब आपके घर में बच्चे बड़े हो रहे हो, तब आप अपने बच्चों को विकसित भारत में बड़े करते देख सकें, इसलिए मैं मेरी जिंदगी खपा रहा हूँ आपके बच्चों के भविष्य के लिए।
All right, well, thousands of young people, irrespective of age, have mobilized over the past several days around concerns they say have gone unanswered. The Prime Minister's latest message, you've just heard it, speaks broadly about his commitment to the future of India's youth. It does not directly address the protests, it does not directly address the demands at the center of this movement though. Whether that changes in the days ahead will be closely watched. Tejshri Purandare tracking the latest for us. Tejshri, a youth outreach message coming in from Prime Minister Narendra Modi this morning that doesn't explicitly refer to the ongoing protests or the movement?
absolutely. You see, this message from the Prime Minister is not a very direct message, but an indirect message, and that's a massive outreach towards the youngsters, because there are several questions being raised as to there has been no word, not a single word from the side of Prime Minister, is what the opposition was stating, and the actually youth also wanted to hear up from the Prime Minister. And there is this video that's been posted by Prime Minister where he has stated that every effort that's been made by the Prime Minister is for the youth as well, and it's definitely an outreach for all these youngsters who are protesting at the Jantar Mantar, and PM has sent a message that his life is entirely dedicated for the youngsters, and every movement, every step that India is taking, that is also for the youth of the country. Also remember that multiple times Prime Minister in his speeches has recalled this, that the strength of India is nothing but its youth, and the biggest power that India has is also its youth, and that is why Prime Minister Modi in this video has also stated that his life is dedicated for the youth, and he also vows for the brighter future of all the youngsters of this entire country. So on one hand, till yesterday, where the people, the opposition parties, particularly to talk about Rahul Gandhi, did release a video stating that so here comes the video of Prime Minister who is stating that every moment of his life belongs to the youngsters of this country, and he's
all right. Well, this morning, one conversation is happening through a video message you've just heard. Another is unfolding on the streets and inside Parliament. The question is whether these two conversations actually meet. Given the scale of the mobilization we witnessed, though, Tejshri, especially over the last few days, are protesters expecting a direct acknowledgement from the Prime Minister? What are they telling you? And how significant is this communication strategy really? All right. I'm told Tejshri's network is pretty bad at the moment. We're just working to reconnect with her. You've heard what the Prime Minister has said. This morning, there's a conversation that's happening through a video message that's come in from the BJP, and another is unfolding on the streets. We'll continue to track what happens crucially in Parliament as well, given the fact that there are two simultaneous huddles that are taking place, one led by the NDA called their Mangal Milan, the other one which is going to start, which probably has started actually, with the opposition at Mallikarjun Kharge's chambers. All right, let's turn our attention to visuals we're getting of the key huddle spearheaded by the NDA ahead of day 2 of the monsoon session. The NDA is expected to chalk out their session strategy. Prime Minister Modi is chairing this key NDA huddle. Former Aam Aadmi Party MPs are also in attendance, and crucially, Dharmendra Pradhan, the Education Minister, is also present. This comes as the Prime Minister has also reached out to the youth in a video message that has just been posted on his handle. As far as day 2 of Parliament is concerned, there was barely any business conducted yesterday. Minutes worth of business. And there has been a mass mobilization outside the doors of Parliament. There are key questions that the government has to answer. In fact, JP Nadda says that they are reaching out to leaders of the Cockroach Jantar Party who reached out to them yesterday with 3 key demands. The government maintains that talks are under consideration, and these are visuals you are seeing of the key NDA huddle at the moment. Aishwarya Jain is with us tracking the latest details. But first, let's go across to Tejshri Purandare. To begin with, Tejshri, take us through the plan of action. We can see Dharmendra Pradhan in attendance at this key NDA huddle. Take us through what the day ahead is going to look like.
Well, absolutely. NDA meeting has just begun there in the Parliament, which is called as Mangal Milan. Very crucial and important agendas to be discussed in the meeting. But I believe the very important agenda to be discussed will be in fact the need. We have been seeing that how the manner in which the protest took place yesterday, and definitely need will be one of the agendas as to how the government will be, answering all these questions in the Parliament, because we have been seeing that since yesterday there has been just one demand of all these protesters and the MPs, or for that matter the opposition as well, that it is a high time that now the accountability should be fixed, because there was till now no word from the Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan as well, and they actually, from day one their demand has been nothing but just the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, and that's what the issue was raised by all these protesters as well. But as far as the NDA meeting is concerned, yes, seems to be very, very important meeting, because all the NDA MPs are present in this very crucial meeting needs to be seen that what kind of message is being given by the Prime Minister in this meeting, keeping in mind that, minutes after just this meeting has begun, the video was posted on Prime Minister's handle regarding the message sent to the youngsters of the country, talking about how Prime Minister is completely dedicated for the youngsters of this country, number one. Number two, and how, all these steps that have been taken by the country is nothing, is all for the youth of this country. Now needs to be seen that, how they will be keeping all these things forward in the parliament as well, because we saw that how there was a massive ruckus in the parliament as well. Opposition, there was a sloganeering from the side of opposition. The placards were also raised. So now NDA is definitely chalking out a strategy so as to how they can make efforts for Parliament to run smoothly, because if these adjournments keep on happening, then it will be very difficult for them to present the bill, to have discussions on the bill, and then to pass the bill as well. Back to you.
Weekly strategy meeting. It comes at a politically significant moment, we must note. Outside Parliament, questions over the protest, the police response, and the demands of thousands of young demonstrators continue to dominate the entire conversation. Inside, the challenge for the government is to navigate both its legislative agenda and the political pressure that has followed yesterday's events. Tejshri, as you are mentioning, this is the NDA's first strategy huddle under the Mangal Milan rebrand after a day that saw Parliament disrupted and thousands on the streets. What are you hearing about the mood inside that meeting right now?
Well, see, all MPs are definitely there to, hear what Prime Minister's message is going to be, because second day of the Parliament definitely is not going to be a silent one. It is going to be, there are going to be political fireworks as far as this entire session is concerned, as far as this entire, week is concerned, I should say. The opposition is not going to sit quiet, keeping in mind the kind of protest that happened yesterday, and also there is a meeting of all the opposition parties, that is the India bloc, at around 10 a.m. But as far as this meeting is concerned, certainly very important issues are to be discussed, said by the important bills that are to be as well. And we saw also that how Union Home Minister Amit Shah also presented the bill regarding Vande Mataram as well, that equal respect should be given to Vande Mataram as it has been given to national anthem. So all these things, the core agenda of the meeting will be the strategy, the flow strategy, how to counter the narrative of the opposition as well, and how to make this entire parliament session to be a successful one, to be a smooth one, so that more and more MPs also could get a chance to speak. The new MPs that generally don't get chance to speak when there is a ruckus in the parliament, and in the previous time as well, the Prime Minister had made an appeal as well that the parliament should function smoothly. And on day one as well, before the parliament had begun, Kiran Rijiju, the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister, has also stated that let the constructive discussion take place and avoid such kind of sloganeering or protest, which leads to nothing but just multiple times adjournment, and the crucial bills that are to be presented, that are to be tabled, that are not passed. So that is why this meeting is definitely very, very important, keeping in mind, yes, the new MPs that have also joined the Shiv Sena, UBT MPs that have jumped their ships from Shiv Sena, UBT, and they have joined Shiv Sena. Now they are part of NDA.
Tejshri, we'll continue to track the latest with you as always. Home Minister Amit Shah is expected to move the Vande Mataram bill today. The government seems to be determined to press ahead with its legislative agenda, despite the political heat over the protests. In fact, speaking of the political heat, you must note, after a stormy opening day of the monsoon session, all eyes are now on day two, because the first day was marked by repeated disruptions, barely any business, placards, uproar, with both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha witnessing multiple adjournments. The opposition is keen on raising the NEET issue and the Ram Temple donation row, leading to a sharp face-off within the government already. Now, the question is whether day two will see more disruptions or a return to debate. Opposition floor leaders are set to meet this morning. In fact, that meeting should be underway at Mallikarjun Kharge's chambers at the moment. The government, meanwhile, is likely to move a bill to criminalize insulting the Vande Mataram, adding another flashpoint to an already charged session, and as that NDA huddle is underway.
वंदे मातरम तो आज़ादी की पहले से गाया जाता था, और जब वंदे मातरम की गाते थे तो अंग्रेज जेल में ठूस देते थे। भी उनके मुखबिरी कर रहे थे, बताते थे कौन वंदे मातरम गा रहा है और सजा दिलवाते थे, है ना। आज बड़े भक्त बन गए हैं।
Well, Parliament meets this morning, you must note, with the streets still echoing from yesterday's protest. My colleague Vasudha Venugopal joins you now with all that you need to know. On that note, Vasudha, it's over to you.
Thank you, Parmeshwar. Good morning to all our viewers. Yesterday, there was no meaningful work that was done in the Parliament because of what was happening outside the Parliament, and that also resonates today in the national capital. We saw a huge protest by a large section of youngsters in northern India demanding the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. The government finally has initiated talks with the protesters, and we are told that the dialogue may even continue, which means that probably this could be the end of a festering issue. But more importantly, today is day 2 of the monsoon session of the Parliament. This is supposed to be a stormy session because this is for the first time that 37 MPs from opposition-ruled parties have joined the NDA in the last 2 months. The budget session was completely different. We saw the delimitation bill being defeated by the opposition. Nearly 230 non-NDA MPs voted against it, but this time it looks like the political alignment has completely changed. The arithmetic has completely changed. And also, the assembly elections are probably going to also have a bearing on what the mood of the Parliament looks like. But what's happening outside the Parliament is particularly interesting because this is for the first time that probably a large number of youngsters have come out asking for accountability. There have also been clashes between police and, of course, the students. There have been allegations of brutalities that have also been made. We will get you all of that also. We are joined by Syed Zafar Islam of the BJP. We're also joined by Pooja Tripathi of the Congress Party. Thank you both of you for being part of this. Zafar Islam, let me... and we also have Nikhil Jain, who's a political analyst with us. Let me start with Mr. Islam. Mr. Islam, yesterday Mr. Nadda met the protesters. And this is after 29 days of these young people protesting. This could have been done earlier, right? Because, unlike a lot of other things, education is instrumental, is critical to everybody. The Prime Minister has spoken about it. What stopped the BJP from putting an end to this issue that was festering for so long?
See, we want to differentiate between political agenda and the aspiration of youth. We always welcome youth. The Honorable Prime Minister has just now issued a video also, released a video, and he has always emphasized that his priority is the youth of this country. He is making India a Viksit Bharat primarily for the youngster who are young today. They will have a better life and the future generation of this country. With this mindset, we are always committed to engage youth of this country. We are not averse to, but when there is a political agenda with political parties behind them, wearing a mask and misleading them, then it is important for us to first expose them and then, of course, engage them for the meaningful discussion. You have seen yesterday the Honorable Health Minister Shri J.P. Nadda ji have met the representative of the youth. And of course, the meeting was very good and in a very congenial environment. And I'm sure that there will be meeting of minds, and all this the discussion which is happening today will lead to a very constructive solution as well. But engaging them, what you said, Vasudha,
okay.
Vasudha, that why we are engaging now is primarily because the political parties are behind them. Even yesterday, I've seen many political representatives from AAP, Congress Party, and other Samajwadi parties leaders have actually supported them. Some of them came and protested. There are some of them actually providing the logistic support to all these people and misleading them.
So we have to expose them first, and of course we are with.
Okay, Pooja Tripathi, Syed Zafar Islam has made some, so Mr. Islam has made some very important points. I want to ask you a different question. I want to ask you, as a Congress party trying to ride on a movement that it did not probably support the way it should have. I know that Rahul Gandhi has been, has been part of these rallies. In fact, he has been leading, Chhatron Ki Goonj, but they have just been two public engagement programs of that kind. One happened in Dehradun on the 17th of July, and the one before that was on the 17th of June, almost a month apart. I want to ask you, is the Congress party now realizing that this issue was something that they should have optimized on, and they should have spoken about this more without really, Rahul Gandhi taking those breaks that he did?
No, of course not, Vasudha. When you say that Rahul Gandhi has taken two massive interactions, which we call Chhatron Ki Goonj, NSUI and IYC were there on the streets every day in different parts of the country. In fact, yesterday night, the Odisha Youth Congress and Odisha NSUI took a protest march, a Mashal march at the front of Dharmendra Pradhanji's residence. And that's why we say every day they were mobilizing youth, they were talking to you, they were facing water cannons, they were facing lathi charges. And it actually, the Chhatron Ki Goonj adds up to the momentum that NSU and IYC was doing on the ground, because it's a youth-centric movement. So saying that we were capitalizing on it, I think it's completely wrong. Congress is the first party to take up the issue. Every Congress leader, be it Rahul Gandhi, has met the parents whose kids have committed suicide. The IIC and NSUI have gone and extended every kind of help. I'm saying that, what happened yesterday, the irony is not lost on anyone, Vasudha. There is a meeting called Mangal Milan. What are you celebrating on this Mangal Milan? What are you celebrating on? The people being the students of the country being beaten black and blue by the police, the students of the country storming, reaching up to the Sansad gates, and Prime Minister taking a U-turn and exiting, fearing his security, and then Prime Minister has an audacity. Everything is theatrics, everything is dramatics. Prime Minister is posting a video message कि मैंने अपनी जिंदगी खपा दी. A 21-year-old
that's an important point. That's an important point, Pooja Tripathi. Let me just get in Syed Zafar Islam here. Mr. Islam, this is a point that a lot of people talk about, that the BJP is only, interested in increasing its numbers. And today is the NDA Milan. And, the NDA probably has, an unprecedented number here. This was not something that a lot of people would have expected in 2024 after Lok Sabha elections. But, today it's inching towards a majority in the Rajya Sabha, at least. It's getting closer to that majority number, 2/3. What do you have to say to the fact that while the BJP is increasing its electoral numbers, there are also movements that are happening outside? While you may want to say that a lot of that is politically mobilized, some of that might even be genuine, valid concerns. How is the party going to distinguish between genuine concerns, wanting to be seen as transparent government that's responsive, and also at the same time be electorally powerful and strong that you are right now?
See, as far as our NDA is concerned, those political parties, their leaders and their member of parliaments were upset with their own leaders. So there is a leadership crisis in all the opposition parties, be it TMC, be it Uddhav Thackeray's party, and many other parties there. Actually, nobody is happy. Within even Congress, people are not happy with their own leadership. So those who feel that there could be a situation where they can serve the people instead of serving the family, then they are thinking of joining the hands of the NDA and empower the Honorable Prime Minister to do better things for the people of this great country and do things for the country. Our objective is always to do things for the upliftment of the marginalized section of the society, for betterment of the nation, and for the betterment of the people of this great nation. Unlike opposition parties, their priority lies to safeguard the interests of the family. I mean, that is why some MPs have understood that sometimes they do things purely because of at the behest of the leadership, and that's why they were unhappy. Today they left them, and good for them, because they are part of a group which works
That's an important point. Pooja Tripathi, we often talk about the Congress not being politically astute. Now you finally have a strategy of your own. But what Mr. Islam is saying is important. Political power is important, which is why we see BJP, in fact, triumphing in states like West Bengal, which was quite unimaginable a few years ago, even in states like Assam, where it has consistently held power for the last 3 terms. Is the Congress party not really keen on an all India opposition bloc, because you've not even been able to keep one of your most steady partner, DMK, with you?
Having differences over issues is a part and parcel of democracy. But I want to ask one simple question today, because we are sitting at the brink of a capital burning. We are sitting at the brink of students beaten black and blue by the Delhi police, unimaginable violence being unleashed by the state over students who have been demanding accountability in education system. Does winning elections make them deaf and dumb towards the issues of people? Does winning elections make them absolutely not accountable to the people? Does winning elections makes them, turn a blind eye to the...
Pooja Tripathi, Priyanka Gandhi, Congress MP from Wayanad is speaking. Let's listen into what she's saying.
He was 28 years old and he was crying because he said that every time he has given the exam, and he has given the exam so many times, it's the paper leaks, something goes wrong, and at the same time he feels that now I've invested so much in this. If I leave it now and try to start looking for a job now or try to do something, I will have no future. So he gets stuck in that cycle of going on and on, giving more and more exams and tests and preparing, and the boy is 28 years old. And it's not one person, there are thousands and thousands of children like this. Every parent who is a parent of a child who is studying for an exam, every parent, we know what the children go through. We know how much they struggle, and these children are children who don't have resources. So they have a genuine problem. They are genuinely just asking. They had said they were going to do a peaceful protest. They were genuinely simply asking that they should be heard. Now the Prime Minister, he is the leader of the country. This is the youth of the nation. This country belongs to them. This parliament belongs to them. We are all here because of them. So the least he can do is hear them out. Listen to them. Call them. Understand what the issue is. They are asking rightly for the resignation of the minister. So he is the person who is responsible. नहीं, देखिए हम राहुल जी लगातार इस मुद्दे को इशू ये है कि ये बार बार हो रहा है और इस पे कोई कार्रवाई नहीं होती है. मुझे याद है जब मैं यूपी में काम कर रही थी तो जो पेपर लीक हो रहे थे वो एक दो जो एकदम जो नीचे वाले अधिकारी हैं उनको आपने अरेस्ट कर लिया या 2 दिनों के लिए रख लिया थाने में, उसके बाद बात वहीं पे रुक जाती है. किसी पर कार्रवाई नहीं हुई है, किसी पर कोई ठोस कार्रवाई नहीं हुई है. अब ये मुद्दा इतना ज्वलंत इसलिए है क्योंकि देश के युवा हैं ये, और ये समझ रहे हैं कि हमारे फ्यूचर, हमारे भविष्य के लिए क्या है. हमारे माँ बाप लोन लेकर मुश्किल से हमें पढ़ाते हैं, हम लोग स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं. वो ये कह रहे हैं ना, वो कह रहे हैं कि हम स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, हमारे लिए इतना मुश्किल है. आप कोचिंग सेंटर्स को देखिए, मैंने बहुत सारे देखे, और कोचिंग सेंटर्स में जाइए और कोई भी माँ बाप जानता है, मतलब किसी भी लेवल का, किसी भी सोसाइटी में आप जानते होंगे आपके बच्चे जब पढ़ते हैं तो कितना टेंशन होता है, कितना जब एग्ज़ाम होता है कितना टेंशन होता है. एज इट इज़ इतनी मुश्किल परिस्थिति है, ऊपर से आपने जॉब्स क्रिएट नहीं किए हैं इतने समय से, तो बच्चा अपने फ्यूचर
issue, and that Rahul Gandhi has been raising this for several times now. It's also said that the government needs to have a sustained dialogue with the student community. She's also talking about the alleged brutalities that many of the student protesters have had to face. Remember, both police personnel and protesters have been injured in this protest. There should be never a place for violence in any democratic protest. What happened yesterday was also unfortunate because there have been brutalities which are now being investigated. Policemen have been injured. protesters have been injured. A lot of it also has to do with the fact that the protest was managed probably in a way that has also raised questions. Let's bring in Tushar Gupta here. Tushar Gupta, I know you have strong views on this. Clearly, the protest could have been managed. It could have been, anticipated better. And probably the government could have spoken to these, protesters, or at least some people from the student community much before this became this big.
Vasudha, 2-3 points. Firstly, accountability through anarchy cannot be demanded. I would love for the Congress to further its best MPs in the parliament, challenge the government on the issue of NEET, on the public examination system. I would love for the Congress and all other opposition parties to do it on the floor of the House. But what was going on at Jantar Mantar and the areas around it wasn't protest. That was a charade, that was anarchy. You can't have students pelting stones on the police, and these were not even students. Students do not operate like this. Students have their way to make their demands heard, but they do not go around pelting students. And if anyone wants to defend them, they're simply an anarchist. Again, point number 2. At the end of the day, the BJP and the Congress in the monsoon session will play to their strengths. The BJP has the numbers. The Congress has certain opposition parties on their side. So each will play to its numbers at the end of it. So the issue has to be finally decided at the floor of the House. It's all about the arithmetic. The theatrics can get you past 1 week, but not beyond that. Number 3, we are talking about talking to the students. Who are these students? You look at a pattern here. Sonam Wangchuk sits on a protest in Ladakh. It ends with a law and order situation. Okay. He sits on a fast in Delhi. It ends with a law and order situation.
So Tushar Gupta, yeah, you're making a lot of important points. I'll come to you in just a bit, but it's also important to remember that many of the exam paper leaks that these protesters are talking about, be it the Staff Selection Commission or the UP Constable examination paper, which has been leaked multiple times, all of this has caused distress to students, but they also probably have to do with state government. So what is needed now is collective accountability. What's needed now is collective action. Probably there also needs to be some out-of-the-box thinking to break this exam mafia that sort of is prevalent in this country. But we will that's an important policy decision. We'll talk politics and policy in just a bit. It's time for a short break.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
हिंदुस्तान मिले हिंदुस्तान से जय हो विदेश हो विदेश हो जय हो
देश का टायर जेके टायर
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा मसाला।
जानते हैं मैं एलीट मैट्रिमोनी क्यों रिकमेंड करता हूँ? 17 years of experience, largest database of elite profiles, और 100% confidentiality. Elite Matrimony, India's most successful matchmaking service for the elite.
5 hours to go for all of DKS's dreams to come true. I'm going to try and get more into the crowds. Here are the pictures. Sidramaya. NDTV stands completely engaged with Karnataka. High rate, check the audio. High rate, check the audio. Let's do it. Let's start.
Breaking story, we're jumping straight into it.
We've got a picture of the letter. What is in your letter? You can never predict what's going to happen in Tamil Nadu politics.
21 days in Kashmir. Unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
For a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arur, NDTV.
They built, they led, they redefined the business conversation. Now, India Inc.'s finest takes center stage. Who will win the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards? 26 July on the NDTV network.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy. every day.
Today, young people marched towards Parliament. In fact, people across age groups attempted to march towards Parliament. They knew the police were waiting. They came anyway. The CJP may have organized the mobilization, but the extraordinary scale of the response, that tells us this anger is much bigger than any one organization. The NEET row, the CBSE controversy, questions over paper leaks, examination security. Yesterday, this generation showed the government it has the numbers to demand answers. And now, the Delhi police has registered an FIR over yesterday's violence in Connaught Place, alleging vandalism of police vehicles and stone pelting.
Welcome back. We come to you from right outside the Parliament. This is Vijay Chowk. It's drizzling quite a bit here. The monsoon session has begun on probably a very stormy note. What was happening outside the Parliament yesterday also has set in some ways the tone for what's likely to happen inside the Parliament. But when it comes to the NDA Parliamentary Party meeting is underway. In fact, what I hear is it's just gotten over. The Prime Minister has spoken. And remember, this is an important NDA meeting, parliamentary meeting, because this is for the first time that probably a very large, crossing over of MPs has happened from opposition benches to treasury benches. Several MPs, almost 37 MPs have crossed over from several opposition parties, including Aam Aadmi Party, TMC, most importantly, because now the rebel MPs have formed this another group called NCPI. You also have Shiv Sena, UBT MPs joining Shiv Sena. And of course, you have these MPs joining the NDA-related parties. And this probably is a shot in the arm for the NDA. At the same time, it's also looking at a fractured opposition. The DMK and the Congress have not been on talking terms since Tamil Nadu elections, ever since the Congress party.
ट्यूसडे को जो मिलना होता है, आज सब मिला और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने सबको मार्गदर्शन भी दिया है। सबसे पहले आज मंगल मिलन में जो नए राज्यसभा सदस्य चुन के आए हैं, उनका भी हमने जिक्र किया, उनको हमने शुभकामनाएं दी कि वो अच्छा काम करे संसद में। आदरणीय नितिन नवीन जी भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी का अध्यक्ष बनने के बाद राज्यसभा सदस्य बनकर के आज पहले बार मीटिंग में भाग लिया। मीटिंग बहुत अच्छी रही। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कई महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दों पर इस मंगल मिलन में एनडीए पार्लियामेंट्री पार्टी को संबोधित किया, मार्गदर्शन दिया है। सबसे पहले आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो देश ने इस कुछ महीने के अंदर में जो सफलता प्राप्त की है, उनके बारे में जानकारी दिया है और कई देशों के साथ फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट किए हैं, उसका भी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जानकारी दिया। फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट कई देशों के साथ भारत ने किया है, उस पर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है जितना भी फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट हुए हैं उसमें किसानों को लेकर के, किसानों का इंटरेस्ट, उसको प्राथमिकता देते हुए कोई नुकसान होने नहीं देंगे। किसी भी देश के साथ, किसी भी गुट के साथ फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट हुए हैं, उसमें किसानों का हित को सबसे सर्वोच्च ध्यान दिया जाएगा और दिया गया है। इसलिए ये किसानों के हित में और देश हित में रहेगा। नीट के एग्जाम के बारे में आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा है कि जब पेपर लीक का खबर आए, तुरंत सरकार ने कार्रवाई किया और 13 लोगों को अरेस्ट करके जेल में डाल दिया गया है और साथ साथ जो छात्र हैं, स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनका भविष्य को नुकसान ना हो, इसलिए री एग्जामिनेशन नीट का प्राथमिकता दिया गया और री एग्जामिनेशन को सक्सेसफुली, सफलतापूर्वक कंडक्ट किया गया और उसका रिजल्ट निकालने में कोई विलंब नहीं किया। तो दोबारा इस तरह का पेपर लीक ना हो, इसके लिए सख्ती से कदम जो उठाया गया है, जिन्होंने पेपर लीक धंधे में जो लिप्त है, जो लोग दोषी पाए गए हैं, जिसको अरेस्ट किया गया है, उसको जेल में डाल करके प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये अपील भी किया है कि उनका जो सजा है उसको सख्ती से सख्ती सजा कैसे दिया जाए, उसमें सारा टॉप क्लास के वकील लोग भी साथ दें, ताकि जो पेपर लीक जैसे पाप काम किया है उन लोगों को घोर सख्त सजा मिले और आगे पेपर लीक नहीं होने के लिए सख्ती से जो कदम उठाया गया है उसके बारे में भी प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जानकारी दिया। और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने यह भी कहा कि पेपर लीक सिर्फ एक राज्य का मामला नहीं है, सिर्फ केंद्र सरकार का मामला नहीं, पूरा देश का हर एक राज्य में जहां जहां पेपर लीक करने में जो लोग लिप्त है, जो लोग इस धंधे में इन्वॉल्व है, जिन्होंने काम इस तरह का घिनौना किया है, पाप काम किया है, उनको सजा देने के लिए सब एकजुट होना चाहिए। ये कोई दलगत राजनीति का विषय नहीं है, ये देश का विषय है और युवाओं का भविष्य के साथ कोई खिलवाड़ नहीं होने के लिए और खिलवाड़ नहीं करने देने के लिए सख्ती से कदम भी उठाए, सजा भी दे दोषियों को और फिर फुल प्रूफ सिस्टम काम जो अभी कर रहे हैं उसमें भी सब मिल करके करें, इसको प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बल दिया है। और साथ में अभी जो सत्र, जो मानसून सत्र चल रहे हैं, उसमें पूरा एनडीए सकारात्मक भूमिका निभाएंगे। हम देश के लिए जो भी बिल्स बिजनेस लेके आए हैं, इसके लिए पूरा एनडीए एकजुट होकर के हम इसको पारित कराएंगे। और हम विपक्ष के साथियों से भी हम अनुरोध करते हैं कि हम मतभेद हो सकते हैं अलग अलग पार्टियों का, लेकिन संसद देश के लिए, देश का भविष्य के लिए, युवाओं के लिए काम करे और इसके लिए हम संसद के सदस्य चुन के आए हैं, सब मिलकर के काम करें, इसमें बल दिया। धन्यवाद।
Did PM speak anything about yesterday's protest?
Prime Minister had stated very clearly that all those who were involved in paper leaks, in the recent need paper leaks, are arrested. 13 of them are put into jail, and Prime Minister desires that these people should be given most stringent possible punishment. And also Prime Minister stressed that to prevent any future leaks for any examination for any state, we must come together to ensure that no matter these people, this gang, these people who are involved in paper leaks, they should be not only punished, but future leaks should be of the youth of our country. The safety, security, and for the future prospect of our youth are our priority. So Prime Minister Modi ji has stressed that the youth of the country will not only be given full assurance for prevention of future paper leaks, but also to show them ways so that the youth of India can take a leadership role in the world. Prime Minister also mentioned about the success of the Sky Route, and this is a phenomenon in India. The youth of India are making tremendous success in different fields. So we will devote our time and energy and focus for the youth and for their future.
सर, जो कल मांग की गई थी प्रदर्शनकारियों की ओर से, क्या उस पर सरकार
वो अलग विषय है। यहाँ संसदीय जो दल का मीटिंग है उसमें तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर का संदेश ही था।
थैंक यू सर।
Kiran Rijiju talking about how the Prime Minister today in the NDA parliamentary meeting, also known as Mangal Milan, has made it very clear that his government took swift action against every news, every report of paper leak. He said that paper leaks have happened across the country in several states, so there needs to be collective action that needs to be planned. He said that it's not just the centre, states also have to work together to ensure that incidents like this don't keep happening. He said that the NEET UG dodgy paper leak happened. After that, 13 people have been arrested. He's also talked about how lawyers of this country, top lawyers of this country, have to come together so that convictions in these cases also really go up. Remember that convictions in paper leak cases have been quite low, which also means that there is no deterrence for the exam mafia that's working across the country. The Prime Minister, however, made it very clear that it's important to understand that there is need for collective action, and that there also needs to be an understanding that this issue cannot be politicized, because this deals with the future of our students, our youngsters. Let me go across to Pooja Tripathi now. Pooja Tripathi, the Prime Minister making it very clear that, paper leaks have been happening across this country, and his government has swiftly taken action. There's been the NEET, the paper that was conducted again, and that has been a success, and counselling has begun again. And that states also have to take responsibility, which means he says that this is not the time to play politics over this.
I want to ask Prime Minister, when will he take responsibility and when will he sack Dharmendra Pradhan, who's been sitting happily over 70 paper leaks in last 10 years and who's been happily promoting Ek Ped Maa Ke Naam and giving flower bouquets to Prime Minister and attending the Mangal Milan? Why hasn't the NTA been dissolved yet? The problem is there's no accountability. Be it Ram Mandir Chanda Chori Mamla, Pradhan Mantri ji was attending the Pran Pratishtha, Dwajarona, everything. He hasn't said a word. He hasn't addressed the students. Students are the part of this country. They have voted you to power and they are asking accountability. And what is this love relationship with Dharmendra Pradhan that you're not letting him go? That you can't sack somebody on basis of an absolutely, pathetic performance as an education minister. And when will accountability, when will the buck stop? We ask, when will accountability be fixed? Why is this arrogance that we will not let a minister go, come what may, let the country burn, let the students die, but we'll not let the minister go? When will Prime Minister fix accountability before raising a hand on stage, before asking, there may be some small fishes that have been nabbed, but this paper leak was, let me remind you, that's been going from 2024, 25, 26. And having a re-NEET examination should not be a pattern back. It should, make you pause and wonder, pause and ponder that what wrong are you being doing to the youth of the country? And that's why we ask when will
let me get in Syed Zafar Islam. Zafar Islam, it's completely valid that the Prime Minister spoke about the need for collective action, stakeholders coming together, lawyers coming together. But if you look at the states which have actually seen maximum paper leaks, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, these are also BJP ruled states, right? What's stopping the central government, in calling for collective action amongst its own chief ministers?
Well, Vasudha, if you think that our government, just compare our government with the UPA government. There were many leaks during UPA government. They didn't take any action. We have made a legislation. The sincerity and keenness to ensure that there is no paper leak in future, and those who are responsible for paper leaks must be punished, severely punished. You heard the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju conveying the message of the Honourable Prime Minister that even he has appealed to lawyers to ensure that the strictest punishment should be given to these people who are somehow indulged or involved in paper leaks. So we are very sensitive and sincere, and the Prime Minister was pained when he heard about the paper leaks, and that's why he has very candidly conveyed this message that we will take not only action, we will also ensure that there is no paper leak in future. But people from opposition parties, particularly Pooja Tripathi from Congress, they must do a backtesting and see their past, and what they had done when there were too many paper leaks, CBSE paper leaks, IIMS paper leaks, many exams paper leak during the UPS regime. But they didn't take any action. They didn't take any proactive action even to ensure that there are no paper leaks during that time. But yes, it is something. It's a menace for the society. It is something which actually makes the students angry, and we are very, very sensitive about it. That's why we will ensure that there will be no paper leaks.
Okay.
And that is the
let me get in. Let me get in. Nikhil Jain here. Nikhil Jain is also a political analyst. Nikhil Jain, we saw, we've heard both the spokespersons out. Yesterday when I was talking to protesters, many of them did not really talk about NEET. It's also basically because I spoke to maybe a different section of protesters and they kept talking about Uttar Pradesh Constable examination. They kept talking about the Staff Selection Commission examination. And they tell me that there have been multiple leaks in these kind of examinations that probably, we don't even know about. So clearly there has been no fixing of the system from state governments as well. What needs to be done here?
Vasudha, first and foremost, what I feel that the people of the country, and especially the youth of the country, want is for accountability to be fixed. You're absolutely right that paper leaks is not something that's only happened with this NEET paper. It has happened with UGC NET. It has happened with the UP Constable exams that you're talking about. It has happened in Rajasthan. It has happened in Madhya Pradesh. It's happened in every single state of the country. Sometimes because of the failure of the state government, sometimes because of the failure of the central government, but the fact of the matter remains, paper leaks happen. Now, what is the next step? The next step is first for the respective governments to admit that there is a problem. The further step is for them to fix the problem. But when the government comes around and tells us, no, paper leak to iski sarkar mein bhi hote the, uski sarkar mein bhi hote the, that just looks like whitewashing. That looks like a complete abdication of responsibility. Fair, agar UP state government mein hota hai, ask the UP education minister to resign. If Karnataka mein hota hai, ask the Karnataka education minister to resign. But first and foremost, start with the resignation of the union education minister. But that is not what is happening. And let me show your viewers the attitude of the BJP and the BJP sympathizers. I tell you, just give me 20-30 seconds. I need to complete. I've been waiting for a while. Just give me 20 seconds, please. You asked Mr. Islam about his views on the protesting students yesterday. What was his go-to response? More important than the students is the politics, because I need to explain expose the political players behind this. So that is the problem. Instead of prioritizing the public, prioritizing the youth and the students, he will prioritize playing his politics. Pooja Tripathi asked him about the PM's silence on the protest yesterday. What is his answer? The Congress party people are not happy with their leadership. To hell with Congress party people, boss. Let's talk about the students of the country. You're least concerned with that. You talk about there was a congenial meeting between
PM
the CJP
spoke about it today. PM spoke about it today. We're also, Nikhil Jain, we're also talking about solutions here. If you look at this whole picture, I agree with you with the fact that, the concerns of the students are very genuine, but a resignation may or may not really solve, a lot of these concerns, right? And I'm sure that, most of these protesters could even be genuine. And I agree with you on that. Mr. Islam, does the BJP often end up slotting people as anti-nationals? Is that a problem that the party needs to address? Because every time there's a protest, every time there are questions that are asked, there's always this response from at least one section of the ruling party that these are just politically motivated people with agenda and these are not real farmers or these are not real students.
See, first of all, I heard Nikhil. Nikhil said the half thing what I said. I said students are welcome. We need to engage with students and we will engage with students. Their concern is our concern and that's a priority for us. They want to discuss, we will discuss. But if there is a political party who is using this as their own agenda for their political benefits, of course, we will expose them because it is nothing to do with politics. It is more to do with the students. And the student is something, their concern is something which is important to us and important to the government. That is something I said, but that is why you people only speak half truth and half you try to mislead. And that is why we need to expose people like you who are not willing to give the truth, but trying to mislead the people and mislead the student. We will not let your agenda succeed because we are concerned about student, not about you or your political affiliation with the political parties you are trying to support. Having said that, let me tell you very candidly one more time. We are with the students. Our government is with the students. We want to ensure that students' concerns is being addressed adequately. Paper leaks is a concern. We are addressing it. But tell me, is the students who wants the resignation of the union education minister? No, the student doesn't demand those things. They look at the protest, which should give them comfort, confidence, and the system which actually works for them. But it is a political party who is actually instigating them and putting their own agenda for their own political benefits.
Okay,
will not let it happen.
Closing remarks, Pooja Tripathi, closing remarks. Pooja Tripathi, closing remarks. Yeah, Pooja Tripathi, closing remarks.
I was just saying we want to give comfort to students here. A 21-year-old girl from Uttam Nagar is battling for her life in RML hospital. How much comfort your police has given him? You want to give students confidence. Students all across the country have joined the protest at Sansad Chalo protest, and with eating just achar and moongfali, and this is the confidence that you give. You're beating them again black and blue. And please don't sit on the national television and give us rhetorics. Where is the action? Why is Prime Minister not engaging directly with the students? Why has he taken a back turn from Parliament fearing his security? Why is Prime Minister not doing a man ki baat, an exam ki baat, the exam warriors, all the tamasha that he does, he's not doing any of it. And now you're saying you want to engage with the student. This is the kind of engagement.
Okay, Pooja Tripathi, I'm sorry, I'll have to interrupt you there. Thank you so much. We're completely out of time here. What we have are two important questions. Students have come out in large numbers to protest yesterday in the national capital. Many of their concerns are very genuine. The government has started a dialogue with them, which is good news. Will that be a sustained one? Remains to be seen. We'll be back after a short break.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
मसाला।
जानते हैं मैं एलीट मैट्रिमोनी क्यों रेकमेंड करता हूं? 17 years of experience, largest database of elite profiles, और 100% confidentiality. Elite Matrimony, India's most successful matchmaking service for the elite.
India Inc.'s most respected names chose India Inc.'s best and brightest.
These kind of awards and jury lineup, you are truly giving it the right weightage.
I think it's heartening to see talent that there is across India Inc.
We should be awarding companies and individuals who have focused not only on growth but also on bringing good governance.
Be part of jury and vote on the people, the men, the women, the companies in India who have the right stuff is a great opportunity for us.
For us, the biggest thing is trust. That's what we provide.
We need leaders in India that can help take India being a global superpower.
We've got a fantastic jury and we've left all decisions to the wisdom of the jury.
Who will earn India's top business honors? Find out at the NDTV Profit Business Leadership Awards.
5 hours to go for all of DKS's dreams to come true. I'm going to try and get more into the crowds. Here are the pictures, Sidramaya. NDTV stands completely engaged with Karnataka.
High rate, check the audio. High rate, check the audio.
Let's do it. Let's start.
Breaking story, we're jumping straight into it.
We've got a picture of the letter. What is in your letter? You can never predict what's going to happen in Tamil Nadu politics. 21 days in Kashmir. Unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground. Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
For a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship. The line of control, Shiv Arun, NDTV.
मीठा या नमकीन, चाहे जैसे खाओ, 100% सूजी से बनी आर प्योर वर्मिसेली, स्वादिष्ट, सेहतमंद, हर रोज।
Today, young people marched towards Parliament. In fact, people across age groups attempted to march towards Parliament. They knew the police were waiting. They came anyway. The CJP may have organized the mobilization, but the extraordinary scale of the response, that tells us this anger is much bigger than any one organization. The NEET row, the CBSE controversy, questions over paper leaks, examination security. Yesterday, this generation showed the government it has the numbers to demand answers. And now, the Delhi police has registered an FIR over yesterday's violence in Connaught Place, alleging vandalism of police vehicles and stone pelting near Regal Cinema 2. You must note that the FIR, however, is against unknown persons. At this stage, there is no official attribution of responsibility to any individual or any organization, according to the FIR. In fact, the FIR also says police vehicles were vandalized, stones were thrown at police personnel. The case, however, has been registered against unidentified people, and investigators are yet to establish who is really responsible for the violence. And that distinction is something we cannot ignore right now. At this stage, the FIR records the police's allegations. It doesn't identify any individual or organization as being responsible. Akhil Jamil has sent us the latest details. He joins us live at the moment. Akhil, break down for us first, what exactly does the FIR allege? And just as importantly, what does it not say?
Well, Parmeshwar, if you see, initially the permission was only granted for the protest at Jantar Mantar. What we have seen that there was no official permission which was granted to march from Jantar Mantar towards Parliament side. Despite no rulings, what we have seen that the CJP protesters moved from Jantar Mantar side towards Parliament. And if you see, where this protest took an ugly turn, where the mob basically came forward, and what we have seen that there was a violent turn of event in which what we have seen that over 18 police personnel got injured. Apart from that, if you see, what we have also seen that in that very protest, senior officials, including the special CP rank officers, joint CP rank officer, additional CP rank officials, GCPs, so there was
Hello and a very good morning, viewers. You're watching NDTV and I'm Aditya Raj Kaul. The protest at Jantar Mantar continues. The students are protesting to demand accountability. At the same time, the Prime Minister has assured that there will be no more leaks. But first, let's get you the top headlines at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's big message on the paper leaks. Modi vows zero tolerance on leaks, says accused will face stringent punishment. FIR registered against unidentified miscreants over violence, stone pelting during Parliament march yesterday. Security stepped up at sensitive areas. Opposition launches blistering attack on Centre after police crackdown on protesters. Says Centre should be engaging with students rather than turning a blind eye. Farmers versus government standoff 2.0 loading. Farmers march to Delhi. Protest proposed India-US trade deal. Say there shouldn't be harmful trade concessions. Shambhu border has been sealed. Over 8 people have been killed in Sikkim tragedy inside a tunnel. At least 18 still trapped. Survival hopes inside Sikkim tunnel. Rescue operations are underway. 4 Indian seafarers killed after their ship came under attack while leaving Ukraine's port of Odessa. India strongly condemns the attack, summons the top Russian diplomat. And for the latest that we are getting from the Parliament and the political breakings, my colleague Vasudha Venugopal joins us live from the Vijay Chowk.
Thank you, Aditya. We have a piece of breaking news to start with. Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, along with several opposition leaders, is meeting Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. This is with regard to the lathi charge that happened on students, protesters yesterday. Remember, both police personnel and protesters have been injured in this protest. Violence that happened yesterday was completely unfortunate. Now, Rahul Gandhi has taken up this issue. Will this matter be the unifying thread for all opposition parties? Remember, opposition unity or India bloc unity is also facing a test, a challenge this time. Is this going to be that one challenge, one issue that will unify them? My colleague Aishwarya Jain joins us with more details on this. Aishwarya, Rahul Gandhi meeting the speaker today, along with Shiv Sena, left leaders, and also Samajwadi Party leaders. Yesterday, we did see Samajwadi Party MP Dimple Yadav reach out to the protesters who got injured in the protest. She has alleged large-scale police brutalities. The Delhi police has completely denied those allegations. Why is Rahul Gandhi meeting the speaker today? What are his primary demands?
Well, interestingly, Vasudha, the DMK and the Aam Aadmi Party is still not that part of delegation who met the Lok Sabha Speaker, Om Birla, but visuals on the screen clearly shows Rahul Gandhi, the Congress leader, Arvind Sawant from the Shiv Sena, NK Premachandran, Dharmendra Yadav, and a few others as well were the part of the India bloc. The opposition leaders have met.
उमेश भाई पटेल
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, क्या माननीय मंत्री ये बताने की कृपा करेंगे कि दादरा नगर हवेली तथा दमन दीव की ग्राम पंचायतों, नगर परिषदों एवं नगर पालिका में वर्तमान में कितने एमटीएस सहित स्वच्छता कर्मी कार्यरत हैं? इनमें से कितने नियमित, संविदा, आउटसोर्स एवं दैनिक वेतनभोगी है? क्या 5 साल से अधिक समय से अनियमित पद पर काम करने वाले कर्मचारियों को फिक्स करने के लिए सरकार कोई नीति बना रही है? यदि हाँ तो क्या? नहीं तो क्यों नहीं? इसका विवरण सदन में सहयोग
रखा जाए। प्रश्नकाल के बाद आपको उचित नियम प्रक्रियाओं के तहत सभी मुद्दों पर चर्चा करने का अवसर दिया जाएगा। सदन की कार्रवाई आज 12 बजे तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
Well, Lok Sabha has been adjourned till 12 noon. This after opposition parties have once again raised slogans demanding a discussion on the Lathi charge that took place yesterday, on the protests that took place, that Delhi witnessed yesterday. This is with regard to protesters who stormed the capital yesterday, seeking accountability on exam paper leak.